Lit Libations.
Welcome to Specials, Part 1 by Scott Westerfeld.
Yeah.
We are going to be reading through, I didn't write it down, chapter 19, New Arrivals.
Ooh.
If you're following along.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm sad because I kind of wish this lasted longer.
Oh, there's more books.
There's one more book. Does the additional book mention the OG cast?
Yeah, they're like legends.
Oh, okay.
So it's a little bit in the future and it's the new world and they're like, they started it.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? So they're like famous.
They're like the original 4 headmasters of Hogwarts.
Exactly. Yeah.
I don't even know a ton about. I've never even read the book.
We will someday.
But I know enough to know that they're legends.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's kind of, it's a different story, new characters, but they're like there. They started it.
What house do you think Tally Youngblood would be in at Hogwarts?
Okay, let's think. Tally. Is Gryffindor the obvious answer?
Is Gryffindor the obvious answer? It kind of feels like the obvious answer.
Yeah, and I think Shay would be Slytherin.
I agree.
Yeah.
Wholeheartedly.
Yeah.
I kind of do feel like that because it's not like Tally's like specifically smart at anything.
Yeah. Agree.
So I don't think she'd be Ravenclaw. But she does do things for her friends, so I think she has like Hufflepuff tendencies.
Yeah.
She cares a lot about people and her boyfriends.
Specifically her boyfriends
at the time. Oh, that's funny.
Okay, before we get started, I have a lot to say. Go join the Facebook group Lit Libations Lounge. Answer the questions however you want. I will accept you. Go check out the website litlibationspodcast.com, and I need to update that. Netflix announced recently that an animated series called Midnight Sun, yes, Twilight.
I'm terrified.
Twilight from Edward's perspective is officially in development. So whenever that comes out, we're going to be like reading Twilight because we want to read Twilight. We said that before we started at some point, but we have to find the right time.
Well, because Twilight, like, even though the books are really, I mean, they're not,
It's going to be fun to talk
about.
It's
not Shakespeare, but it's so entertaining. And it's also one of those things like, I don't think a child in America or probably anywhere in the world has not at some point read Twilight.
Right.
Series.
It was like so popular.
I mean,
we have to, and iconic.
Iconic is the only way to describe it. Twilight is it, honestly.
So good. So yeah. Thank you for the 5-star review from True Crime Girl on Apple Podcast. She said, love the banter. Y'all are so funny. So thank you for that.
Oh, thank you.
And then, okay. Do you want to talk about what we're going to be reading for October?
No.
Because I have like the options.
Do we have, okay.
So
do we have like the specific?
We could figure it out right now.
Okay. All
right. Let's do it really quick. I think we want to read Haunting Adeline.
Yeah, I've just seen so much about it on like TikTok and things like that. So,
do you agree?
I feel like, yeah, I do. I feel like it is like fairly popular right now.
I feel like it's the most popular or
trending maybe.
Yeah, trending dark romance.
Yeah,
and
we want to do a dark romance.
We want to do a dark romance. It's such a a divide from where we've gone so far, from where we've been. So I think it'll be really fun to compare and contrast. And I read half of Haunting Adeline and it's crazy wackadoodle. And so I think it'd be fun to talk about.
Well, and we always compare we were always talking about Bridgerton being kind of like,
there's dark aspects to it, but it
wasn't marketed. Yeah. So I think it'll be fun to kind of, compare where we thought, okay, this seems like it should be in a dark romance Bridgerton wise, and what actually is in a dark romance.
Exactly.
Because I've never actually read a dark romance. Okay. So I honestly couldn't tell you what's supposed to or not supposed to be in a dark romance.
Yeah. Okay. So bear in mind. So let's read Haunting Adeline. Agreed? Okay. We're going to read it. It is a duology. We're just going to do the first one unless we get a lot of requests for the second one. But I've heard that it's like in the lighter range.
Oh god.
For dark, so let's keep that in mind.
Okay.
The next one is either Rock, Paper, Scissors or Hidden Pictures. I'm going to read a little bit about.
Are those thrillers?
Yes, these are the psychological thrillers. So Rock, Paper, Scissors It follows a couple in an unhappy marriage who take a weekend holiday to a repurposed chapel in the Scottish countryside. And that is a psychological thriller.
Okay.
And the next one is Hidden Pictures, which follows Mallory, who is fresh out of rehab, who takes a job as a nanny for a young boy, Teddy, who has a strange and disturbing secrets. But she loves it. She has her own living space, goes out for nightly runs, and has the stability she craves. So I feel like something's going on with Teddy. So do we want to read about like a couple?
This is tough.
Yeah.
This is tough because I could really go either way with this right now.
Should we flip a coin?
My gut is leaning towards rock, paper, scissors.
Okay, let's do it. You heard it here
Do you
first.
have a gut?
I think either one would be fine, but I want to read about a couple who take a weekend holiday. I think that sounds more fun.
We're on the same page.
Okay, cool. All right, so we're going to be reading Haunting Adeline and Rock, Paper, Scissors for October, and we're going to be like, did you say we're going to go get costumes from?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay, we're going to be dressing up in some sort of fashion for those episodes.
They're not going to be anything too wild and crazy, like just
like
funding wise. I don't
makeup.
have like the funds to be going
right
and getting like full,
Yeah,
but,
maybe just a Halloween sweater.
Yeah, well, or just like, I don't know, dressing up as a kitty, a witch, or like something basic where you can get like one or two things and be fine.
Agreed.
Definitely get Halloween makeup. I'll definitely do a full face of something.
Zombie. I used to do zombie makeup for myself.
Oh, we should do zombies one day. Okay, yeah, we're in.
Okay. Well, that'd be so fun. Okay, I think that's all I got.
I'm in. I'm
All right,
good.
you ready? Oh, before we start our drink today, we have cute little pumpkin glasses, and it's a blended drink with skewball peanut butter whiskey.
Yep.
Bailey's salted caramel, ice cream, vanilla ice cream, and coffee.
With the chocolate drizzle.
With the chocolate drizzle
on the glass.
on the inside of the glass.
It's so good. I'm not kidding. I can't even taste the alcohol. And if I drink that on a night out, I'd be so fucked up by the end of it.
I am not a whiskey girl. I hate whiskey, I would say. But you cannot taste, like, the peanut butter screwball whiskey is so good. It's so different. It doesn't have that whiskey twang that, like, you know what I'm talking about. It's so good.
My dad actually drinks screwball peanut butter whiskey.
Straight on the rocks?
Yeah.
I assume.
Yeah.
It's so good though.
Yeah.
I would only drink it with like chocolate or caramel, banana.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I don't think I'd drink any alcohol on the rocks. I just can't personally. Like I just don't. Alcohol's never
no desire for that.
Alcohol's never ever like cease to just make me gag. Like any kind of alcohol. I can't do like super dry wines. I have to do sweet wines. Like I can't drink anything straight up. Like I just
fine.
Anything neat. It's like
no, thank you.
I can't do it personally.
Take it away.
My taste buds haven't developed yet for alcohol.
In general.
I'm just
kidding.
Yeah. You know what? I like guacamole now, so leave me alone.
Oh, that's huge.
Oh, that's huge. Look at you, big girl.
Yeah.
Look at you. You're growing up. Okay, specials. Part 1.
Let's get into it.
Being special. Chapter 1, crashing a bash. Hoverboards are riding very gracefully amongst the trees. Tally is feeling an icy clarity. Her senses are sharpened to the extreme. She is now a cutter. Shay swooped down beside her and flashed her a smile. But Tally felt unsettled by the disguise on Shay's face, making her look like a typical ugly.
Ooh.
They were crashing a party tonight in Cleopatra Park. Cleopatra. That's not the name.
Poor Cleopatra. We shit on her so much.
Can't even say her name right. Fuck. They are crashing a party in Cleopatra Park tonight. Obviously. Tally was also dressed as an ugly, and it made her a bit uncomfortable. She had only been a special a couple of months, and this disguise just felt weird, especially with Zane not being there with all of them.
Where's Zane?
We don't know.
We don't know.
We literally don't get answers for a very
So
long time. Just like cryptic mentions of how he's not there.
Yeah, like where did he die?
Yeah, I thought he died.
Did the
I'm not
toothache
kidding. I
take
thought
him
he
out?
died.
Yeah, did the tracker take him out? I don't know.
I literally was like, oh, he's dead.
It kind of seemed like that at first.
As they approach the party, Shay checks in with Tally through her skin. Okay, so it's a skintenna
There's
network.
a lot of new things with the cutters and being special. So yeah.
Yeah. So basically what I'm assuming, like how it so literally it's like attached to I feel like their nervous system, like within their body.
Skin.
And it's like no hands or anything. And
yeah, it's just like a radio that's in their body.
Yeah.
That's connected within their group.
Yeah.
Kind of like the wolves from Twilight.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Right? No, that's such a good comparison.
Yeah.
Tally assures Shay she will be okay, that it's going to be an icy time. This was Tally's first trick since turning special. After her operation, she spent 2 months in cutter training, living in the wild.
I love that there was a training. Because the cutters are brand new.
The cutters are brand new, and Shay didn't have to go through it because
she is the cutters.
Well, and it was like 2 weeks between, because she started the cutters, huh? So I wondered, she
just made up the training program.
She's like, live in the wild, bitches. Or I wonder is it specifically cutter training, or is it specials training?
Well, I think they're like a faction of specials. So they're their own new thing. So probably a mixture.
Okay. That would make sense.
I'd say, yeah.
Yeah. What's crazy is Tally liked being special. There wasn't an unbeatable icy clarity, and she was just better. Physically, emotionally, mentally, whatever. As they approached the party, Tally's nerves started to kick in. They heard there was going to be some smokies crashing the party, giving out nanos and stirring up trouble.
That's so fun. Good for them.
What a fun party.
Right.
I would love some nanos. Shay reassured Tally that it's going to be okay. They were just a couple of uglies, like a group of uglies. They were like randoms. Yeah, they're nothing like, special.
Literally like ants beneath our feet.
Yeah, we could squish them. The cutters would be there for her if she ever needed. They were connected, an unbeatable click. Tally's memories were perfectly intact now. Now at the party, she remembered how being an ugly at the bashes used to be like.
Yeah.
They were all so awkward and uncomfortable around each other. They weren't bubbleheads. They were aware of their flaws and the world around them. Tally scanned the crowd, but didn't see anyone out of place. Tally wondered aloud if maybe they looked obviously out of place because they were, even though they had their disguises on, people could still tell that they were different.
The cutters?
Yeah. The cutters. Shay insisted that even though they were special, they could still have fun. Shay grabbed the arm of an ugly boy and pulled him onto the dance floor. Soon all the other uglies joined in, intoxicated by Shay's presence. Tally realized that Shay did this as a way to cover the specials and entice the Smokies to come out of the shadows. With all of the chaos, no one would notice if people were different. Like, do you know what I mean?
Like she started a party. So she got the dancing going. So she got things moving. People are going in and out. And that way the Smokies felt like they could have more cover.
They could have more cover. And also the specials would have more cover.
Oh, both of them. Perfect.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good job, Shay. She's so smart.
She just doesn't tell anyone anything. She just does things.
Yeah. She's so fun in this book. Yeah.
So fun. She's super fun.
Yeah.
Tally moved through the crowd, her special aura being drowned out by the music and the people dancing.
Oh.
She felt claustrophobic, so she moved to the perimeter to look from the outside-ish in. Not super far, just kind of on the perimeter of the dance floor.
Like in a tree. Just kidding.
She's like 20 to 30 millimeters. Not
millimeters.
Meters away, kilometers. Still failing to see anything or anyone suspicious, she closed her eyes to let the other senses take over.
Okay.
Then she smelled smoke. She was able to pinpoint a girl who was dancing and speaking with a random ugly boy. She had sunblock patches on as well and wasn't wearing a jacket. It was like tied around her waist.
Yeah, she had like tan lines from the sun patches.
Yes, yeah. Like she didn't mind being cold, and also like she had been out in the sun a lot. And then she could smell the detergent off of the jacket, as if, because in New Pretty Town, they don't ever wash things. They just put them in the recycle bin, and if they need something, they just ask for the wall and whatever. It's same thing in Uglyville and everywhere. So detergent wouldn't be necessary unless
you're in the smoke.
Unless you're in the smoke.
Wash your clothes.
Exactly.
You don't have a wall out in the smoke.
Yeah. I wouldn't catch it. I would be a terrible cutter. I'd be like...
Well, you didn't go through the training, so...
Oh, yeah. No, you're right. I didn't go through the training. The 2 month...
That's what they taught.
Cutter training. Yes. She let Shay know that she spotted someone suspicious. Shay, a little disappointed because she wanted to keep dancing, disentangles herself from the ugly boy to join Tally. Then Tally noticed the girl handing the boy something like through her hands.
Like weed or something?
Yeah.
Selling him weed.
Something illegal. For the last couple weeks, the Smokies had been smuggling in nanos, which was obviously for the cutters not good. It was good for like, you know,
The
where
city.
we were last
Yeah.
book. But where we're in Tally's mind now, it's no
Not
bueno.
good.
Yeah. Shay ordered Tally to take the girl. Tally would prick her with a needle attached to the ring that had a toxin on it that would make the girl fall asleep.
She's a Pete.
As if she was like, had drank too much. So it wasn't like obvious to the people around, right?
Yeah.
And while asleep, they would take her to the, what is it called? Bunker. No. The lab.
Where?
No. They would take her.
Like to special circumstances?
Yeah. Okay. While asleep, they would take her to special circumstances and she'd be turned into a bubblehead.
Right. Makes sense.
Tally cut in between the smoky girl and the ugly boy. He grinned at her and asked if she was asking him to dance. But like not in like a, oh, you're asking me to dance. Like in a, you're asking me to dance?
Oh, you fucking ugly.
You fucking ugly, even though he was also ugly.
Right.
The smoky girl said, no, it's okay. Maybe Tally wanted some too. Or maybe this girl wanted some too. She didn't say her by name.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
That'd be hilarious. Just outing her. I know
No,
who
maybe
you are.
Tally does want some. That fucking, I know who you are,
Special.
bitch. She went to grab something from her jacket pocket, during which the boy looked at Tally strangely, like she was beneath him, like she wasn't special. Annoyed by this, totally annoyed, Tally pressed a button on her crash bracelet that made her ugly disguise poof away.
She couldn't stand for 1 second.
For 1 second.
not being
oh my God.
not being perceived as special.
Okay, I'm sorry. This was some Shay shit right here.
Yeah,
Like,
it
I'm
was.
sorry.
It was crazy.
This was
like go back to training. You're not ready. You're not ready.
And you know what? Like I get maybe it's like a good thing for like us like rooting for the Smokies or whatever to give them a little bit of a heads up. But
Yeah.
I'm rooting for whoever I'm in their POV.
Right,
so I'm
right,
annoyed right
yeah.
now.
Oh
You know?
yeah, it was crazy.
Ugh. Yeah, she revealed her special features and everyone's like, oh. She told the boy to buzz off. And
It's just such a funny thing.
she's like, buzz off, boy. And she told the girl to take her hands out of her pockets. Everyone was watching her at this point. And she told the girl that she wasn't going to hurt her, but she will if she has to. She
Yep.
doesn't want to hurt her.
That's in special training as well.
That's like the
The first thing that they learn.
That's their line. That's their arrest line. Like
It's like the Miranda rights.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say or do will be used against you in a court of law or whatever the fuck it is.
Yeah.
I've watched so much Special Victims Unit and I still forget.
That's pretty close.
It's longer than that. It's like far longer.
Yeah, if you
have a right to
an attorney,
attorney.
and if you don't have
Anyone
one,
who
we
would be
appointed
friend
you.
too.
We're there. We got it.
Yeah, is that the whole thing?
I don't know.
Me either.
Not sure.
The girl told her that the smoke lives as she was like thrusted up into the air.
Oh, what was that?
Okay, so basically, she was wearing a bungee jacket that was programmed or designed to work the opposite way. So instead of breaking her fall as she's like bouncing up, it was like springing upwards.
Yeah, like the power
like
tower.
once a button was pushed.
Yeah, that's so cool.
A power tower?
The power tower. From
What's
Cedar
the power?
Point? Cedar Point?
I've never been to Cedar Point.
We'll have to go.
Okay.
So it starts, there's like, you could drop from the top, like just a straight drop, or you get flung up.
Yeah. Okay. So it's flinging her up.
Yeah. So that's cool. I like
That's
that.
so, it's really cool. I
Yeah.
was like, that's interesting.
How long? 2 months. They elevated their game so much, the Smokies.
Elevation Nation. Something happened. She looked up and saw 2 hoverboards zooming over. One was meant for the girl who had just gotten thrusted up into the air, and one was ridden by David.
Just kidding. Croy's
I
a
wish it
cutter,
was Croy.
right? Is he a cutter?
No, Croy's not a cutter.
No, he's not.
Fausto's a cutter.
Where's Croy?
Croy's still with the Smokies.
Oh, good for him. He's so
No, the smoke lives.
hell yeah. Okay, so
But I'm not happy about it
it's
right
David.
now.
Yeah.
Her board tugged at her as she prepared to pursue the Smokies. The ugly boy tried to grab Tally's arm in an attempt to slow her down so she wouldn't catch the Smokies. She pricked him with her ring needle and he fell asleep.
Crazy.
Shay ordered Ho. I gave that name. Sorry.
H-O.
Shay ordered her little Ho. No. Oh, geez. Shay ordered Ho to retrieve him, and the rest went to follow David and the girl on their special hoverboards. So the specials have these hoverboards that basically they can ride off the grid.
Yeah, so it's like the special hover cars that could go all the way out to the smoke without like it has lifters in it, like lifting fans.
Lifting fans,
right?
yeah,
So,
yeah.
And then they made hoverboards for them.
And they're faster and they're more maneuverable. What's the word? Agile.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they're just better, like on all
I don't know why they didn't do that way earlier. They did at the end of the last book, right?
This is the first time that the specials have ever ridden hoverboards, and only the cutters do. So they're the specials.
Yeah.
Even though they're idiots. The cutters wanted nothing more than to catch David. He was the best prize, and Tally did not forget that it was his mother, Maddie, who had created the nanos. That she was the reason for Zane's brain being eaten away. That David was the one who tried to ruin her and Shay's relationship by seducing Shay and then Tally. Yeah. Specials didn't forget their enemies, not ever, and that's a direct quote.
That's hilarious.
Okay, so again, we're in Tally's mind right now. So this is not a direct reflection of how I feel as of this moment. Obviously, we know that this is a warped view of what's happened.
Yes.
But this is how she's thinking about everything.
Yeah. So she became special, and all of a sudden, she's rounding up uglies, trying to take down the smoke. Mm-hmm. And we're there with her.
Yeah, and yeah. I'm in it.
Yeah,
I want her to
Let's take the smoke down.
Fuck the smoke at this point. Like,
for real.
Cutters all the way. Chapter 2. Hunters and prey. The cutters are in full pursuit on their fancy hoverboards towards the girl and David. Their hoverboards have fans in them so they can ride them off the city's grid. So what I just told you earlier.
Sorry. Get ahead of ourselves.
That's fine. It's fine. I forgot I wrote it in there. Tally asked Shay if they should call in backup from Dr. Cable since it's David they are pursuing. And David is like, I mean, he's the prize. He's the prize catch for not just the cutters, but for all of special circumstances.
For the greater good.
Yeah.
According to Dr. Cable.
We have to get him. Shay says no and makes a jab at Tally for having dated David.
That's so funny.
To which Tally reminds Shay that she also dated David.
Yeah.
They have this weird rapport when it comes to David. It's very mean-spirited from Shay specifically, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
So
she's still holding a grudge against her.
It's very obvious.
Let it go.
Tally is determined to capture David, but seeing him disturbed her iciness. She wondered if Shay had some pent-up anger towards Tally still in her. Just like the way that like whatever emotions that she had pent up from David was still in her.
Oh, because they came up and
when she saw him. Yeah. She hoped catching David would lay all of that to rest. They were getting close to the edge of the city, over the greenbelt and over the suburban houses.
So fun. They do that once a book.
Crumblies, probably. Yeah. They love flying over the greenbelt.
Over the Crumblieville.
The Crumblieville. Tally was tight on their heels with the rest of the cutters not far behind. She was arrogant in her mobility and strength since her surgery. She assumed it would be easy to catch up with David and take him down. Even in this pursuit, she does think about how she only wants to capture him, not kill him. At one point, she gets close enough that David sees her and does recognize her. Shay urges her to stay back and wait until they are at the edge of the city. Tally notices that the direction they are headed won't take them to any river where they can ride their boards out of town.
So where are they going? What are they doing?
Yeah. And she's like, this is kind of fishy. She mentions something to Shay, but Shay only dismisses her by saying he's only a random and probably just got lost.
Like literally just like a dog running around the woods. Like it's fine.
Yeah. And it might be easier because if they go anywhere on foot, like
we're going to get them in a second.
Yeah.
Tally.
And Fausto mentions that they could be headed to the trails to get away on foot.
Doubt it. Shay
tells Tally to relax and wait for the edge of the city. They will catch them once they are off the grid. Tally reflects on how Shay is her boss and has been special for the longest time out of all of them. So she has to do what she says.
Yeah.
She's the boss.
She's pulling rank.
Yeah. As they pursue, Tally notices that the girl and David brush fingers with each other.
No way.
And she wonders if they are like romantically involved.
No way. David did it again.
Dude, I was thinking the same thing. I was like, no way. He has seduced another girl. Oh my God. I would be livid.
Oh,
I would be done with
too.
him. I'd be done with him if he's
like
seduced
as
this
a
girl.
reader.
Oh, Yeah, I'd be like, whatever team I'm on, it's not David's.
Oh my gosh, that would be insane.
I still think I'm Team Smokey's, but I would not be Team David's romantically.
Right. Right.
I'd be so mad.
That would be insane.
I was jealous reading that.
Were you?
I was like, even though I'm still Team Zayn,
yeah.
but I was like, what the fuck?
Like your again?
Again?
So
it's
soon?
been like a couple months.
Like literally, that is so funny.
That is insane.
I didn't notice that ever.
I guess, but I also thought like how much of a double standard that is because I'm like rooting for Tally.
Yeah. She got together with Zayn so fast.
She just so quickly. As they reached the edge of the grid, there was a forest, right? David and the girl plunged into the trees. Tally was excited about this, taking a turn to a game of hide and seek instead of like chase and pursuit or whatever. She turned on her infrared vision. And that's self-explanatory.
She just has as a special.
Yeah. And I think it's just like automatically in her eyes. Like I think she just pokes a button on her face or something.
Yeah.
And just like she sees infrared.
Okay.
That's how I'm gathering this. Like I could be so wrong.
No, that's probably right. Because what else could it be? She's not like pulling down goggles from her hairline.
Could you imagine? No.
So
yeah. Okay.
Over her eyes. Yeah.
Probably just like a feature of her specials.
Yeah.
But there were no human figures, like, because they heat up. They're like heated. Yeah. Oh. Fausto said they must have sneak suits.
Ooh.
Shay said that they would need to use their other senses to figure out where they were. Okay, having sneak suits would be so crazy for them to have because it's like super, like it's military weaponry, basically.
Yeah. And
military
grade.
Like stuff,
attire.
No one in like the general public has a sneak suit,
right?
So they're like, what the fuck? How the fuck would they have sneak suits?
What would it be like having then?
But here's the thing that's so crazy is they're still so cocky and they're still so sure that
it's
like
Shay.
they're gonna.
It's Shay, right?
Even Tally and Fausto, they're all like, oh, whatever. Like, we'll just use our other. Like, no one's like, boss, like this is fucking crazy.
Yeah, where'd they get those sneak suits?
This seems like an ambush, kind of.
Maybe we should take maybe like a millisecond and think about it.
Yeah, seriously. Tally stepped down from the hoverboard and tried to tune in to her hearing and smelling. She could sense David here. She was excited that he had made this interesting for them.
Ooh,
it's like that's her thought process.
Game.
She's like, ooh, this is more fun. I like it. It's not easy.
More icy.
Yeah. She begun to hear a low humming that didn't seem to belong in any of the nature sounds around her. She started to hear more. 2, 3, 4, low humming in all directions. Ooh. When she opened her eyes, she saw them. 5 human figures, all in sneak suits around them. She realized what the humming was. Bowstrings.
Ooh, I like that it's the strings. I thought it was like an electrical charge, but it's just the strings she's hearing because she has such amazing hearing. Mm-hmm. Love it.
She tried to let the cutters know, but her skin antenna had been turned off so she could tune into the nature sounds around her. And she turned it back on as the first shot was fired. Chapter 3, Night Fight.
Ooh.
Just such a fun little way to say that. Yeah. Arrows shot through the air. Tally managed to dodge the ones near her. She heard the choked off grunt of Tox, who had been hit. The arrows had been given an electrical charge. Oh. Then Fausto was hit, and then 2 more. Because I think they had a couple of people with them. Like it's a little confusing.
New people that we don't know in the cutters?
Probably. So. Tally took cover behind a tree and tried to check in with Shay. Shay had not been struck yet, and she was like very cocky about it. She's like, of course I haven't been hit, you stupid bitch.
She's so funny.
She's so crazy. They figured that they had sneak suits and infrared as well, because also how would they be able to see them? So now they have 2 different types of technology that's military grade.
Yes.
And they're like, what the no one's stressed except for I think Tally's a little bit stressed right now. Probably Fausto and Tack are a little bit stressed out because they just got hit with arrows with electrical charge.
Knocked out.
Shay made another jab at Tally, saying how her boyfriend may be smarter than they thought. Tally,
your boyfriend.
I think she also, every time she says something about her like boyfriend or whatever, Tally also makes a jab like, he was your boyfriend too. Okay,
yeah, like, stop bringing it up like it's an old jab. It's let it go.
And I wasn't the only one who dated him.
Yeah,
you were also
you liked him too.
Also dated him.
You're so salty about me taking him.
Ugh. Tally asked what the plan was, and Shay replied with, and I think this is a good sense of like their cockiness. Okay. I think this is why I quoted it. Quote, the plan is we kick their asses, Tallywa. We're specials. They got in their first whack, but they're still just random. So
She's like, it's going to be fine. Like, they're still random.
we kick their ass. Like, that's it.
They're still not special.
Yeah, we are.
Exactly.
More arrows shot, but they missed Shay. Tally was still in between two trees, unsure if she was exposed or hidden.
Yeah, she's like, what direction am I even facing anymore? Where are they? I don't know.
This is actually kind of embarrassing. She was annoyed that they didn't bother to bring anything useful, like sneak suits or knives or literally anything but their two hands.
Literally nothing except your needle ring.
And which could have been useful maybe if they got close enough.
Got close enough.
She asked Shay if they should call in for backup, but Shay told her no. No Dr. Cable. Don't embarrass her. This is her mission. Period.
This is the beginning of Shay not telling Dr. Cable anything.
Yeah, she
crazy.
She has some sort of like complex with Dr. Cable. Like she wants to show. I think she wants to take Dr. Cable's job eventually. I don't know, but it's some sort of weird independence thing that she.
Yeah, she just doesn't want to tell her anything that might make her look bad.
Yeah, maybe it is an ego thing. They inject you with extra ego.
Maybe that would make sense. And she already had
a big ego before.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. Yeah. Shay told her that she would try and pull off an ambush of her own. Tally waited, trying to rely on her senses to figure out where the Smokies were. She heard 3 arrows knock in their bows, but they didn't fire, which meant that she was hidden behind the tree and wasn't like exposed or whatever. Then she heard footsteps, too light to be a city kid's, which meant that it was David.
Oh, yeah, because he can move around the woods really good.
Stealthily.
Yeah, I don't know how.
Yeah. She readied herself to attack and asked Shay where she was. Shay told her that he was 12 meters away, but the problem was David found Tax's board. His hoverboard, his specials hoverboard.
What they were after.
She heard another pair of footsteps, louder and clumsier, looking for the other board. Then she heard the lifting fans of the hoverboard moving.
Oh, shit.
This had all been about getting their fancy hoverboards.
Oh, my gosh. Duh.
Yes. She made her move and saw that whoever was riding the boards was carrying Tax.
Oh, no.
She ran, but arrows went flying for her. She managed to dodge those and jumped onto the board, gripping the edge with her fingers as more arrows flew.
Yeah, like
right?
hanging from it as they're
it.
trying to get away.
Yeah, as arrows are flying at her.
Yeah.
In an attempt to dodge those, she lost her grip and fell.
Okay.
Shay told Tally to give her a boost, and she laced her fingers and shot Shay through the air as another arrow was shot at them.
That was
But
cool.
that arrow that was shot at them didn't hit them because the wind from the fans
blew it down.
Yeah, redirected the arrow to the ground.
And it hit right between Tally's legs, didn't it?
Mm-hmm. It was close.
Cool.
It definitely would have hit Tally. Shay landed on the board and raised her hands, but David threw Tax at her. Oh. His like limp body.
Threw an entire person at her.
Yeah. Shay caught Tax, but then David lashed out with the shock stick and struck Shay, forcing Shay to drop Tax head first.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Poor guy.
Tally rushed to grab him, getting there just in time.
How high were they? Like 20 feet, you think?
I think she said like 3 or 4 meters or something like that.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know how many,
like
much a
15
meter
feet, maybe?
is. Yeah, it's like that's a long
20?
way.
Yeah, to fall on your head.
That's not good.
That's fatal.
She tried to call out for Shay, but there was no response. Arrows shot at her again, but missed, and because they were retreating, so it was a little bit sloppy. Mm-hmm. She hesitated a second, trying to figure out what to do next. She thought about calling for backup, but remembered Shay's orders: no Dr. Cable, no matter what.
That's so nuts.
Then she got a ping from Ho.
Poor Ho.
From Ho. She told him to meet her using her location pin as soon as possible. Like, get here immediately, sir. And he tried to tell her something that the boy, Ugly, from earlier had told him, but she cut him off and said, hey, like, I don't care. Like, get here, please. For the love of fucking God. Like, we're not talking about that right now. We need help. This is an emergency. I don't give a shit about some ugly boy. Okay? Tally was angry and confused. How the fuck did this happen? All she knew, she could not let David beat her. She dug her nails into her arm, pain overloading her senses, and then there was an icy clarity. She realized David must have ditched the old hoverboards nearby.
Ooh, good thought,
because they stole all their new ones. Mm-hmm. When she found one, she grabbed it and told Ho to meet her at the western edge of the trails. When Ho got there, he asked what was going on, but Tally didn't answer. She just shoved him off his board. And then...
Why?
Because she was stealing his board. She went to take the board because he had a specialist board.
Yeah, right.
So she shoved him and took his
No
board.
time to talk.
Like
I'll tell you
literally,
later.
no, yeah. Through the skin tenna as he was falling, she said she needed his ride because they got jumped, and she told him not to call Dr. Cable.
Okay.
And he's like, Tally, what the fuck?
Why'd you do this to me?
It's so
Thought we
mean.
were friends.
We were literally like a clique or whatever. He's like, voice fading out. She zoomed out into the darkness in pursuit of the Smokies. She still had a chance to rescue Shay, capture David, and make this all okay.
Oh, okay.
That's a direct quote. Chapter 4, Rescue. Tally flew low and fast trying to spot the Smokies. Seeing them was going to be difficult with the sneak suits, but they were carrying cutters with them who didn't have sneak suits on. So she should be able to see them.
Yeah.
The problem was she needed to fly higher in order to spot them through the trees because where she was, it was too dense. But above, you can see it better or whatever. I don't know, vantage points and shit.
Makes sense.
But doing that would risk being spotted by the Smokies because they apparently had infrared.
Yeah, so they could see her easily.
Yeah, her heat detection. She decided to take a little cold plunge in the river below to cool off her body and her clothes enough to not be detected by infrared.
She's so smart.
She is. Well, that's because she just like dug her nails into her body. So she's got like the icy clarity thing going on. As she was submerged under the water, she had another moment of icy clarity. And just like she did when she cut herself. She flew up high enough after that and spotted the Smokies about 1 kilometer away. And then she dropped back down before her body temperature could rise enough to be detected through her wet jacket.
Wow.
The water was still making her icy and she was able to sense everything around her. She was ready for this fight. Within 60 seconds, she saw the lone hoverboard waiting for her.
What? Oh, David.
The rider was David and he was holding an unconscious Shay.
Oh, this is a good part.
I have so many thoughts. Okay. She tried to sense if there was anyone else surrounding them, but she didn't feel anyone. He told her he knew she would follow them, that they needed to talk. He asked if she remembered him, and she said, yeah, of course I do.
Like, what the fuck?
I remembered you even when I was a bubblehead. You always made a big impression. Oh. It's a direct quote, but it wasn't.
It's not a good.
It was negative
connotations, but also sounded sweet.
Yeah, until it was, you always made a big impression. Like, it was like nasty. Like,
Yeah.
They argued about Zane and how he came to be half brain dead. Tally blamed him and the nanos, and David said it was a mistake, that they knew the risk. Even Zane knew the risk.
Yeah, I mean, he ain't wrong.
And he did. No, he did. She told him that she saw everything now. He steals children and plays games with them.
It's such a funny perspective.
Yeah.
I love it so much.
Children.
And then plays games with them. And then dates them.
And
then ghosts them.
And then ghosts Who's the girl you're talking to right now, huh?
Yeah.
Who's the girl you just brushed fingers with when we were in pursuit? Who the fuck's that?
When I was in pursuit of you.
When I was trying to capture you, stupid little bitch.
Oh, man.
What about, and she's like, he's like, where's your half dead Brit? What? Where's your half brain dead boyfriend
Right.
that you left me for? After I didn't come one time.
Oh, jeez.
That's the arguments between
I love it.
those two. He apologized, but Tally saw the signal David gave with his fingers. It was very, very, very like subtle, but she noticed it.
Because she's so perceptive.
So perceptive. And she's still icy, I think. Then she saw the arrows in her peripherals just before they were shot. And she's like, what the fuck do I do? You know what? I know what. And then she reached out and caught them both by the hit, like the middle,
shaft.
the shaft.
You were trying to avoid saying shaft.
Caught them both by the shaft on either side of her. Like electricity sparking with the arrow like so close to her face. Can you, like, that scene is
It's so good.
Unbelievably good. Like,
I wanna see it.
unbelievably good.
I hope the Netflix movie does good and they produce all of them.
Oh, God. That's crazy.
It is.
Realizing he could make no progress with Tally, David just throws Shay into the river.
That's crazy. She's unconscious. She can't breathe. She's going to drown.
Tally, pretty much without a second thought, jumps in after her and within a few strokes manages to grab Shay and pull her to safety. The cold water woke Shay up, and she asked what the fuck just happened.
With a southern accent.
What the fuck just happened, Tally? I don't picture her with the southern accent.
No.
Tally explained how David shocked her with a stick, a shock stick.
David shocked you with a stick.
Sorry.
In your town.
Yeah. And that David managed to take her, but Tally got her back. But unfortunately, Fausto had still been taken.
Dang it.
Yeah. They were worried that now the Smokies had resorted to throwing people in rivers.
Yeah, that's
and
crazy.
Like, throwing tacks headfirst
from
onto the ground from like a height.
Yeah.
Not like
they're like
foot,
ready
like
to kill
multiple
people.
feet. Yeah.
They're not worried about it.
They had never been so quick to violence before. Tally asked if they were even now, her and Shay. And Shay said that they didn't need to worry about being even. They were special. They met
Then
back
why are you
up.
always fucking shitting on Tally?
And how she
Stop.
dated David.
Like, let it go.
She can date whoever she wants, you stupid hoe.
Not you, hoe.
Not you, hoe. They met back up with Ho and debriefed him.
Nice.
And they debriefed him on what had happened. They gave him like the full story. Ho informs them that the ugly boy knew where the nanos were supposed to be delivered to. The Crims, but not just any Crim. Zaynlaw himself.
Zaynlaw. He's not dead.
I thought he was.
Oh, good.
It's such a happy day.
It is. Chapter 5, The Promise. Tally doesn't quite trust Shay that she only just learned that Zane was back, but not trusting other cutters isn't very cool, so she doesn't really say anything.
It's not very icy.
Yeah. It feels so wrong for Zane to be in the city and not in the wild with them. The cutters, minus Fausto, are burning trees and running over a fire to stay icy. So they're like at their camp. Some of the other cutters switch from cutting to branding themselves with hot iron to stay icy. And that is so crazy. Does Dr. Cable know? Why does she let this happen? Why are they hurting themselves?
I think Dr. Cable definitely knows at the very least about the cutting because that was.
I mean, they're called the cutters.
That was a practice. They're not. They're advertising it.
Yeah,
like
they're not hiding it.
But also, that was a practice that they had prior to being special,
right?
So, and they keep track of them
scars,
all the time. Yeah,
scars.
Yeah,
but
they're not. It's not something that they're trying to hide.
Upgrading or whatever to branding is so crazy.
What's crazy to me is like they act like they care about each other in this clique, right?
Yeah.
And like that's, they'll always have each other's back. But I feel like it's based off of just like principle and not based off of emotion. I don't think that any of these people actually care about each other.
Right.
Like on a deep level.
I could see that. I could see that.
If the roles were reversed and it was Shay and Tally, like the roles were reversed in that situation, where Shay got thrown into the river. If it was opposite and Shay was the one waiting, like trying to come for David and he threw Tally in the river, I think Shay would have been like, bummer.
I gotta go get David. He's right there.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Nah, maybe two of the other cutters, but Shay would have saved Tally.
Maybe.
Oh gosh. But
I don't know.
I don't know. I feel like Shay specifically feels responsible for everybody.
Okay. Maybe. I don't know. I could be wrong. Because it's just like, it doesn't seem, she's so mean.
I know. She is really mean. Like, Shay, calm down. What the hell?
Yeah.
Tally voices her sadness about Zane not being here, and Shay tells her she'd get him there if she could, but you only turn special if you think your way out of the cure, and we all know Zane took a pill, so he doesn't fit the mold.
That can't be true.
I know.
That can't be true.
It's kind of rude
because
to
how
say.
did specials ever get out of it before? And also Zane did think his way out of it.
Yeah. He was in the process of it.
Right.
So Shay's just being kind of mean.
Yeah.
But if he finds his way out of being a bubblehead again, then we have nothing to worry about. Tally is worried that his brain damage will make the lesions permanent. She's worried about Zane and wants to do something about it. So she says she wants to go with Shay tonight. And I don't know if we established that Shay is going on a mission, but
she's going. No, I know they didn't actually talk about it.
All right.
No, they didn't.
Okay, so Shay is hesitant. She's worried that having two ex-boyfriends is messing with Tally's brain. I'm getting tired of it.
God.
Tally starts shaking with anger, and Shay thinks it's because she saw David, and they throw shade at each other because of David again. Shay wants to send Tally to look for Fausto because she doesn't want Tally to see Zane while he's still a bubblehead. And she's like, you need to let it go, Tally. And then Tally said, so I should have let you go when David dumped you in the water? And Shay is like, I'm doing this for your own good. You don't want this complication. She doesn't want Tally to see Zane. Then Tally pricks her finger and makes a blood for blood promise to Shay and says, once Zane is special, I'll never make things complicated again. I'll be a good little cutter. Just give me Zane. Shay agrees, making sure she knows she'll hold Tally to her promise and that all she ever wanted was for them to be on the same side. I don't know if I agree with that.
I don't know if I agree with that either.
Yeah. Then Tally asks again if she can come with her, and Shay agrees, but, quote, you might not like what you see.
Okay, so give me my boy.
Yeah. Let's go get him. Okay, chapter 6, New Pretty Town. Tally and Shay fly into New Pretty Town, and the pretties are partying, and Tally thinks she'd rather have a brain than be a pretty. But at the same time, having a brain hurts so much sometimes, is what she thought.
That's fair.
Yeah. They're moving along unseen by the dumb pretties when a bunch of uglies come zipping through, laughing and screaming on hoverboards, and Tally thinks, that's a good trick. But when they pass, she sees that they're pretty. They're not uglies.
Yeah.
On hoverboards, like, pretties don't do that.
No, because they don't have enough focus to ride a hoverboard. That's why.
Or balance or like.
Right.
Yeah.
That's that. I didn't realize that. I always wondered why they didn't hoverboard in New Pretty Town, because I thought that that'd be such a something that pretties would 100% want to do. It's like dangerous and like kind of, but still safe because they don't
do like
have
bungee jacking. Well, I guess they.
But you don't have to have like a mental, like the mental awareness of your body, in order to continuously do it.
That's true. That's funny.
Maybe, and I'm sure like a crash bracelet could help you like if you're in an open area, but it probably can't help you if you like run into a building.
No, it wouldn't help you. Wouldn't help you.
So that's probably like a dangerous thing.
That's interesting. Shay thinks that maybe the new Smokies are handing out more pills than they thought. If they got sneak suits, it'd be kind of easy. Shay then tells Tally that Dr. Cable thinks the Smokies likely got their sneak suits from another city. Shay had told Dr. Cable about the suits, but not about Fausto's kidnapping.
And the fact that they lost David again.
Because that would be embarrassing. Yeah, we're all good. Everything's fine. We're in the camp. No one's missing.
I wonder what Dr. Cable feels like about.
I feel like she has to know about this stuff, like, right?
There's no way. She has. Dr. Cable's too smart. Shay is not outsmarting Dr. Cable.
Right. You don't create a whole new faction of specials and not know absolutely everything that they're doing. And
I agree. And just like let them loose within like a second. Go. You're weeks. Like, what?
Oh my God. Yeah. I love it. They land on the roof of Zane's mansion, and Shay shows Tally a vision overlay through their skin antennas, a kind of blueprint of the building from the city's interface. That was a lot of words.
It was a very good description, though.
Thank you. It appears Zane is in his old bedroom, sitting in a circle with Paris and a few names Tally didn't recognize. They're like, why aren't they partying? What the fuck are they doing? This is so sad. Poor Zane. Oh my gosh. He must be like so, I don't know, brain damaged or something.
Yeah, he's
not partying.
Poor guy.
They decide to climb down to Zane's window to see and hear what they're doing, because if they use the city's interface to listen in, Dr. Cable would see what they're up to, and we want to hide everything from her. Tally touches a corner of the glass window, and the chips in her hand turn the window into a microphone, and she can hear Zane reading a book. This is interesting. This is really weird. Okay, so I Googled the line that he was reading, and it's from the Communist Manifesto by Friedrich Engels and Karl Marx.
What the
That's what Zane is reading.
What?
Yeah.
Zane.
I have no idea what to make of that, but we're going to move on.
I don't really know how to feel.
I don't really know. If you do, let us know.
Maybe he's just curious. Maybe he's just curious about governmental processes back when, like,
in Rusty age.
In the Rusty age, yeah, that's actually fair. You know,
I mean, of course. Like, you got to study everything, right?
It's the same type of thing as like us being interested in like true crime or like wanting to know more about like World War II or something, or just like that.
And the psychology behind it all.
Right. Agreed. Okay.
Yeah. They take a peek, and Zane is alone, reading to a bunch of interface rings. So Tally knocks. Zane, recognizing her, opens the window, smiles, and says, Tally, you've changed.
Tallywa.
Chapter 7, Zanela. Zane is talking like a bubblehead. He looks the same, but something feels different that Tally can't put her finger on. Shay reveals that she's blocking them all from being overheard, so Zane speaks candidly and says he's covering for the others as they are out tricking tonight. Tally is silently kind of freaking out, and Zane tells her new face is a mega Helen. It could launch 1,000 ships, but probably pirate ships. I thought that was so funny. You can launch 1,000 ships, but they're probably pirate ships because you look so scary.
Oh, God.
She tries to talk, but can't. The words aren't coming. And the longer she looks, the wronger he looked. And she realized he sounds weird because he's not connected to their skin antenna. He's not special. Shay says, quote, "We're here because of these," and hands him a bag of cure pills, and he is excited to see them and reaches out to grab some. He's like, "Ooh, the cure." "Don't mind if I do." And Shay's like, "Hold on there, buddy." Tally notices Zane is moving very slowly and deliberately as if his motor controls were still affected by the brain-eating nanos. And she compares the way that he looks to wallpaper. She said he looks like wallpaper. Like, he looks so plain and dumb. He looks like wallpaper.
This was so interesting to me because when I was reading this, I thought that he was like a special in a suit and that Zane was still dead.
Oh,
I thought this was like a full-blown conspiracy, and I was like,
wow.
I was convinced that Zane was dead, and everything that she was seeing right now was like,
that's why
everything
you looked wrong and sounded wrong.
because it was a special in a suit.
Someone else. Oh my God.
Trying to like convince Tally everything was fine.
That would have been a crazy twist.
That would have been, wouldn't that have been a cool twist?
Kind of.
Yeah, I
If
agree.
it was revealed at the end. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh, yeah.
But no, it was
Maybe
Zane.
it will be.
Oh. I thought it was. Still
No
Zane.
spoilers. Shay says the pills came from a strange smoky girl that told her the pills were for Zane. And Zane's like, "So the specials need my help?" That doesn't sound right. But Tally tries to answer that the Cutters were different. They play by different rules. They were free from the city's dictates, free of the averageness that was leaking out of Zane. But she doesn't say anything. Shay says, "Yes, we need your help. We need you to stop these pills from making more pretties like you." And they always, Shay
is so mean
towards his condition. It's not his fault.
Is awful. Like,
my God.
honestly, Shay can get fucked in this whole thing.
She really is. It's bad. And she throws the bag of pills at Zane, but his reactions are so slow. He lifted his hands a full second too late, and then they fell in his lap like dead slugs, according to Tally. Zane is crippled, and this disgusts Tally. The way she is thinking about him is so hard to read about. But Zane is like, "I don't need the pills. I'm permanently bubbly." They tried putting the lesions back in, but they didn't stick. Tally points out his shaking, and Zane just says, "You can rewire your brain again, Tally," because he knows like something's wrong with her. She insists there's nothing wrong with her brain, and he's like, "Are you sure?" Shay's like, "Enough brain damage talk. Where did the pills come from?" He says they came from the new smoke, which he doesn't know where it is, but he wishes he did because he could use their help right now. I feel like he feels trapped, and it makes me really sad.
Yeah, I can't believe that they didn't go back and try and get Zane. They know he's there because they're delivering pills to him, but they're not trying to like get him out at any point, which is really fucking annoying.
Right. Yeah. Poor
They're kind of using his position in New Pretty Town without like, like knowing that he's having such trouble.
It's really sad.
It's really fucked up, actually.
It is. But they've handed out thousands of pills. Tons of clicks have been helping. There's a ton of thinking pretties. It's finally happening, and Tally is on the wrong side. Shay says, "Whatever, your new smoky friends have Fausto, and we need to get him back before they make him all shaky like you." Ugh. But that's interesting to him. Tally said Smokies are smart. They have crazy tools and weapons. They threw Shay in the river unconscious, and he smiled and said, "Sleeping on the job, Shay?" And she got so silently pissed off. She literally almost killed Zane. But then she like shook it off, and Tally was like about to like jump on Shay to stop her, but she didn't do anything. Like, don't insult me one time about one little thing.
Yeah, while I just tear you to shreds about something that you literally can't control the entire time I'm here.
Oh my gosh,
Shay can get fucked.
Shay
directly in the butt. I'm so mad right now.
Yeah, fuck her.
Fuck her.
But they tell Zane, "You can help us find the new smoke by escaping and going there." But he has a metal chain around his throat. And it's the specials upgrade of the interface cuff made of the same orbital alloy, but it's around his neck. And Shay's like, "Oh, no problem. We could get that off for you. Easy peasy." Tally tells him if he betrays the smoke, they'll make him special. And it's so icy, Zane. You'll love it. And we can be together. And he's like, "Why can't we be together now?" Quote, Tally tried to imagine kissing his childlike lips, stroking his shaking hands, and the thought disgusted her. Ugh.
Aww.
Childlike lips?
So mean.
So mean.
You used to love those childlike lips.
I know. You used to love those.
You used to love those.
You used to kiss them all the time. She said, "Not like this." Zane insists she can change herself. And Tally's like, "You can escape. Take these pills and head to the smoke, please." He agrees, saying, "For you, Tally." And Tally can easily see in his face that he agreed to leave, and he'll try to trick them later on. And it's so pathetic in Tally's eyes. Poor thing. They get up to leave, and Tally takes one last look back, and he says, "We'll be together soon." And she just nods. She can't even fucking speak to him. Chapter 8, The Cut. Tally confesses that Shay was right and seeing Zane was horrible. She can't understand why her perception of him has changed so dramatically. She is getting sad about it and says, "I don't want to be this way." And Shay absolutely rips into Tally, and she says, "What way? Annoying? Pathetic? I tried to tell you not to come." Tally says, "You knew seeing Zane would do this to me." And Shay says, "I'm not the one in love. Haven't been since you stole David from me. But I thought maybe love would make a difference for you. So has it?" Her stomach sinks. If I were Tally, I would absolutely be done with Shay right now. Are you kidding me? She treats Tally like shit. And this is like the last straw.
But this is honestly the one thing that I agree with her, though, because I said this with David. Wouldn't love make a difference in every circumstance? I mean, she went to New Pretty Town confident in her love, and obviously it wasn't strong enough to withstand being pretty.
Yeah.
And then now this is happening with Zane.
Yeah, but
and like the love doesn't really like it's she's already faltering. Like every single time a circumstances changes, like this love that she felt seems to not be able to withstand it.
Yeah.
And so I'd be like, yeah, you blow up your life every single fucking time for these men that you fall out of love with in 5 fucking minutes. Like, get it together.
Shay, they forced her to be special.
They did, and I do understand the circumstances, and they kind of forced her to be pretty, and she's been forced to do a lot of things.
A lot of things.
But love should withstand all of it. Yeah. It should,
It's a lot going on. Maybe we'll get back there. Who knows? Okay.
Yeah.
Tally worries that they have special lesions that make everyone else pathetic. But Tally insists she doesn't want to feel this way. She doesn't like that Zane feels wrong to her. She wants to cry and asks outright, "Is there something in my head that makes him look wrong?" And Shay says, quote, "Tally, in every conflict, both sides do things to people's heads, but at least our side gets it right. They make bubble heads to keep them happy and the planet safe. They make us to see the world so clearly that its beauty hurts, and so we won't let humanity destroy it. And the Smokies make freaks like Zane." Tally is angry but composes herself and says looking at Zane makes her sick, but she knows that's not right. And she wants to go back to how it was before. Shay says she knows how to get Zane's necklace off, but it's dangerous and they'd have to trick special circumstances to do it. And Shay says she's willing to do that for Tally. Shay lends Tally her knife, and Tally slices her palm open to make herself icy. Deep down, it's clear to Tally that she still loves Zane and wants him to be special with her. Shay says she's going to fix everything and not let Tally turn all mushy and average. All Zane has to do is prove he's bubbly. They're going to send him to the smoke with bugs, sure, but they're going to follow him there the old-fashioned way. And Dr. Cable will turn Zane special. Shay won't have to see Tally all bummed out all the time, and the new smoke will be destroyed. As for the necklace, the alloy necklace, Shay just says, "Follow me." Chapter 9, The Armory.
So this is a weird plan to me because obviously they didn't make Zane... Like, if it was all about, like, fighting through the bubbliness without a pill, then Fausto wouldn't be a cutter. Tack and Ho, like, wouldn't be cutters. Like, because none of that was, from their own volition.
They were bubbly.
But so, obviously, there's more to Zane not being a cutter than being about his, like, bubbliness. There's no way.
I feel like Shay is trying to, like, hit a wedge between her and Zane. Tally and Zane, like, to keep them apart. Like, Zane is not it. Okay, we're it. He doesn't need to be here.
Sure, but she is helping him try and, like, get into the cutters or whatever. But also, like, I think they're both naive about why Zane... I think Shay is trying to shit on Zane for not being a cutter, but I think it's for different reasons. Like, I don't think either of them know why Zane wasn't made a cutter.
Right.
And so I think that they both she's just like, oh, he's stupid, like, whatever. I'm smarter than everyone because that's just who I am. And it's really maybe about some sort of physical impairity that wouldn't have allowed him to be that way.
Right.
Or maybe the pill... You know what it is? Maybe the pill wouldn't allow the fact that he took the nanos. No, because Fausto's a cutter. So if they fucked with the brains of people that, like, if they fucked with, like, people's brains to make them cutters, then even the people that took the fact that they can't put a lesion in Zane's brain.
Yeah. Well, they thought, they know they can't because that's why he has the necklace on.
Yeah. So I don't.
They should just make him a special. Oh no, they probably can't.
I'm saying that maybe they
work.
can't fuck with his brain.
Yeah, it
because
won't work.
of the nanos. Maybe they can't fuck with his because whatever the nanos took away, it took more than what the actual cured actually takes away.
Right.
So maybe you can put the lesion back in anyone that takes the nanos the right way.
Ooh, yeah,
but just not Zane's because of how much was stripped away.
Because the nanos ate his brain.
Okay, that's what I'm gonna go with.
Okay, that sounds good.
That sounds good.
And they don't know that, so they're like, "Well, this is the reason. This is the reason."
Yeah.
Okay, chapter 9, the armory. The plan is to sneak into the armory, which feels as impossible as breaking into Gringotts. It's really hard. It's stuff of legends. No one does it, okay? The armory has every registered piece of hardware the city possessed, from handguns to city-killing weapons. This place was designed to kill trespassers on sight. It's serious. They're hoping the Smokies / Zane will be blamed for this. Dr. Cable already knows about the sneak suits, which they need to break in. At the armory, they build up the magnetic resistance of their boards like a wind-up toy, and they fling themselves upward over the no-fly zone and successfully land on the roof, just like the Smokey did with that bungee jacket.
Yes, but without bungee jackets.
Yeah, with their
they're
boards.
special.
Yeah, they didn't need it.
Yeah.
Tally takes comfort in the fact that the armory was designed to repel a major attack and not a couple of randoms, because she's like nervous at every turn. No talking from now on. They have to use hand signals. Except when they talk through their skin tennas, because they start talking immediately. Like, they
talk so much through this.
They do.
I was thinking that when I was reading it. I was like, aren't they not supposed to be talking?
They have to use hand signals. And then they're like, all right, let's figure out how to break in. Let's do this.
Oh, yeah. By the way, we have to talk really quick.
It was funny.
That's so funny.
They can't physically break in because the whole building is made of the orbital alloy. So Shay throws her knife over the edge of the building and it triggers an alarm. The same knife that Tally used to cut her palm, by the way, that's important. And a drone.
Is it?
Yes. Second half.
Oh.
It'll come back. So Shay throws her knife over the edge of the building and it triggers an alarm and a drone to come out of the roof through a shaft, and the girls jump down it after the drones fly off. The shaft is skinny, smooth, and no handholds, and Tally stops herself by throwing out her hands and feet and coming to a halt. Her infrared is also not showing anything, so she's having a hard time seeing. So Shay tells her to relax and to drop, and she'll catch her. Tally does, and she's like, "What are you even standing on? I can't see a goddamn thing." Shay sends her an overlay so Tally can see. She's like, "Oh, here. This is the code that you need to see." The shaft is filled with more fighting drones in all sizes. They climb up, find an access hatch, and drop into a narrow hallway, like shoulder width narrow. The short hallway leads to a room the size of a soccer field, filled with all sorts of rusty equipment and new city stuff. They climb a ladder into a smaller room filled with scuba breathers, night vision goggles, firefighting canisters, and body armor. Shay seems to be indiscriminately shoving stuff into her sneak suit. This part that they're in is like a museum full of rusty stuff.
Yeah.
Tally realized. Tally asks Shay if she found it, and Shay says, "Yep, this shiny tube should do the trick." And she tells her she took all the other stuff to throw the whoever investigates this off their track. Yeah, off their trail. They're still messing around with the relics, and Tally can smell a human. Lights come on. A human? Is that how it's described?
Yeah.
Tally can just smell a human. Like she's not human anymore.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
But like, kind of.
Yeah, truly. Lights come on, and someone was on the ladder climbing up toward them and the museum. They scramble to hide, and Shay turns invisible, but Tally's in too complicated of a spot, and her sneak suit is just like going like bazonkers. But too late. A man steps off the ladder, like into the area that they're in. Okay.
Is that me?
Yeah.
Chapter 10, Breakout. He wasn't a scary pretty. He seemed to be like the average late pretty. Like a crumbly.
Yeah.
He's a crumbly. Anyways. There were 3 hover cams that flew above his head, which was what made her far more nervous than the man himself. The hover cam stayed close to him, observing his hands as they grabbed things off of the shelves to inspect them. They were the security system meant to make sure that he was putting things back accordingly. They weren't looking for intruders.
I love it.
She relaxed a little until she saw the man freeze. She figured he noticed something was missing until he picked up a bio-warfare filter mask.
Oh. Like what
are
they called?
Bio-warfare filter mask. What did I say?
Gas mask.
Gas mask. It's literally a gas mask.
Yeah.
But for her, it's bio-warfare. Yeah. She just uses the fucking most complicated fucking word. in her head.
Yeah.
Stupid bitch. Okay. She had put it back in the wrong spot because she was inspecting it as they were getting stuff off of the shelves, and she put it back wrong.
Yeah, my bad.
No, that's not a big deal. He went to return it to its rightful place on the shelf, and he didn't really seem concerned about it at all. He was just like, "Oh, weird.
Things
Must
move
have put
around
this
in here. It's fine."
Bio-warfare filter mask away. Weird."
Yeah.
But Tally noticed that one of the hover cameras noticed her and was like, "Zee." The man went back to where he was before, but the camera stayed on Tally.
Shit. Yeah, because her suit's going bonkers.
Bazonkers.
Bazonkers is not a word.
I love that word. We should make it a word.
Okay.
But her suit was going bazonkers. Yeah. He didn't notice the camera hadn't followed him. She looked to Shay, who gave her a signal of a finger across her throat, like the kill signal, right?
Or like this.
I thought,
Or
it
like,
was this,
oh, this. Yeah.
this, yeah.
Kill him?
No, kill the camera.
Oh my God.
And
I'm like,
Tally,
Shay.
because Tally knew what she had to do. She pulled the rifle out and bashed the hover cam.
Jesus.
An alarm started blaring, and the Crumbly started freaking out. He's like, I'm freaking out.
It's like, this doesn't happen. I've been here all my life.
What in the world? Shay ran for the ladder, but a metal sheath snapped shut, preventing Shay from going to any other floor.
I love it.
They smashed the remaining hover cams. Tally thought that she could use the rifle to shoot through the metal around the ladder, but of course, like, it's not loaded, obviously. She's like, shoot it. She's like, okay, I hope this doesn't.
That's crazy.
So embarrassing for her, honestly.
That is really embarrassing.
It was such bad secondhand embarrassment. And Shay was like, doing her own thing, I suppose.
Yeah.
And she went to the middle of the museum floor with a ceramic bottle. She grabbed Tally's rifle and went to work trying to smash it.
Dude, this is a bad choice.
This was
Shay.
a terrible choice. The Crumbly was extra panicked because something super dangerous was clearly in that bottle. He was like, don't open that.
Whatever you do.
It was so dangerous that he started climbing up shelves frantically.
Oh my God.
This old, like, crumbly person was
pretty.
climbing up shelves to get away from whatever was in the ceramic bottle.
my gosh.
If that's not a fucking
Signal? Like, stop hitting it, Shay.
Yeah, literally.
Figure something else out.
Well, at one point he goes, stop, do you know what's in that? And she goes, actually, I do. And then she smashed
did it on
open.
purpose?
Yeah. And the bottle broke open and a silvery liquid started to spread across the floor. And this is a direct quote. The liquid flowed into mini rivulets, stretching out like some 100-legged spider after a long nap.
Ew.
That sounds horrible.
That was a great.
It was very descriptive.
Yeah,
I was
that
like,
was
this
good.
is so good. The alarm changed tones, like to something more like,
yeah, it's like
panic.
intruder to like mortal danger.
Mortal danger. And two hover drones buzzed quickly into the room. Shay batted one down with a rifle, but the other began spreading black foam onto the liquid. And then she batted that one down.
Come on, Shay.
Dude, if I was Tally, I'd be like, I don't know
it
her.
hurts.
I don't know
Like,
her.
I actually have never met this woman.
I'm stressed
I'm
out.
kidnapped.
I've been kidnapped. Which she kind of has, though. Like,
Truly, like at every
she
turn.
could use that, actually. Shay told Tally to get ready to jump through the hole that the liquid is burning into the floor. So literally, yeah, like,
How are you going to escape through the floor?
well, you'll see.
I will.
Apparently, this stuff was hunger in nano form. It eats everything and spreads like crazy. And it like basically eats it by burning it. So, and it could eat anything.
Yeah, like acid. Like,
Yeah. Okay.
Right?
Acid is a
Yeah.
good way to explain
Yeah.
that. Yeah. After about a minute, there was a big enough hole to jump through, and Shay went first. But the Crumbly pleaded for Tally not to leave him behind.
oh my God.
So she jumped up to the shelf, grabbed him, put him on her back, and then jumped through the hole.
That's so nice, Tally.
Yeah, I was.
you.
She landed on an old Rusties machine while Shay was battling the hover drones.
You didn't have to do that.
But, like, I picture a tractor.
Wait, what?
The old rusty machine.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Tractors. Same.
Like
Combines.
farm machines.
Yeah. Farm equipment. Yeah.
Like giant farm machines. Yeah.
Yeah, same.
She played a little game of hopscotch to avoid the silver liquid touching her because it would burn her to death.
Yeah. Melt your bones or something.
Yeah. And she reached the end of the room as the ceiling was about to collapse on her. She set down the Crumbly and asked how the heck they were supposed to get out of there. And he told her the subway's underground where the trains come in and out. One of the rusty machines started to come to life, and Tally urged Shay that they needed to get the fuck out.
Why is it coming to life?
I don't really know. I'm not 100% sure, but it's literally what it said. I was trying to figure out everything that's happening down here is confusing the fuck out of me.
Same.
This
read through as well.
It's second read through. I was like, I'm not sure what's going on.
No.
Shay told Tally to follow her. When Tally went to grab the crumbly, he told her no. The hover drones will save him if she just leaves him the hell alone. Tally reached, so Tally's like, all right, peace out, motherfucker. Tally reached Shay on the far end of the wall. The silver goo was eating away at the wall, and when it got big enough, they could jump through and then to the next wall, which should have been the end of the. Oh. So they haven't jumped through they haven't jumped through yet.
It's not big enough yet.
Because it's not big enough.
Okay.
The problem was the rusty farm machine, which is probably a tractor, was making its way toward them, threatening to crush them or cover them in the silvery liquid. Shay grabbed one of the grenades that she took earlier and threw it at the silver glue on the wall.
Oh, God.
The silver goo.
And then it blew up?
And it blew up, and it made the hole big enough for them to dive through.
But it like blew the goo onto you.
Yeah, Shay. Oh. She's a little.
Yeah,
Tally was scared, obviously, because if the liquid touched her, it would kill her.
Yeah.
But you know what? She ended up diving through, and luckily it didn't get any on her.
It was fine.
And she was fine. She was a little bit more hesitant to jump through that wall, though. So then at that point, Shay grabs the rifle, sticks it in the goo, and then sticks it on the other opposite wall. Like,
let me just melt the entire thing. If it wasn't going to happen, now it will.
At the other other end of the wall. And they're hoping that this is the final wall to get outside.
Got it.
Yeah. So that way they can just go, right?
Yeah, they need to leave.
Yeah. And they heard, so at this point, right, they're waiting for, the goo is eating the wall, and they're waiting for it to like get big enough for them to jump through. And they're hearing a banging on where the hole was on the other side of the room.
Okay.
Right? It's the old rusty farm machine. Oh. It's half eaten by the fucking silvery goo and was threatening to get in the room because it was literally like backing up, banging.
Oh my God. I wonder why. I wonder if it was like programmed to like leave the building if something was happening.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. Because I'm confused.
That's so crazy. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. I got nothing. That's all I got.
I was like, what the fuck is going on?
Why is a tractor coming after them?
Why is a tractor slowly rolling towards them? I was like, why is this happening? But anyways, their time was running out. Okay, so they're really stressed out. Tally asked Shay if she had any more grenades. And Shay said yes, but she was saving them for the hover cars outside of the building that were waiting for the intruders, because they're like, oh look, there's an intruder because there's a hole forming on the side of the wall. Right.
Manned hover cars?
I think so.
Oh my God, dude.
Yeah. So Shay dips the grenade into the nanos, chucks it through the hole that is like progressing, that's going right now. Like just outside, just chucks it. Obviously she takes the pin out of it so it'll blow up.
Thank you for clarifying.
Literally. And on the other side of the room, the machine had broken through the wall and was slowly working its way towards Tay and Shally.
Slow.
Tay and Shally is what I just said. Towards Tally and Shay.
Dang it.
Shit. Then all of a sudden, like as everything's happening, a large explosion rang out and Shay pulled Tally down underneath the hole and goo sprays in through the hole, right?
Jesus.
Dude, I'm stressed out. The grenade hit a hovercraft fan and had caused it to infect a ton of the hover cars with the silver goo, causing just absolute chaos outside.
Oh, gosh. Yeah.
It's so bad. It's messed up.
It's not good.
Shay tells her to call her hoverboard, and they both jump out of the hole.
Okay. They're like,
okay, so do we understand what just happened? Because honestly, I'm stressed. I was so stressed I wasn't going to I don't feel like I did a good job. But honestly, it's just utter chaos.
Yes. I mean, that's pretty much, you portrayed it perfectly, I think. Yeah.
Because I felt chaotic writing it.
The goo, was like acid, eating everything, very dangerous, stay away.
There's a random rusty machine also trying to get
I don't know what that's about. I can't explain that. The machine was also needed to get out of the building.
Grenades are flying. I'm not sure.
Crazy that she picked up grenades.
That crazy, but and they're not done.
No, okay.
The grenades are not finished. Chapter 11, flight. Tally fell into the darkness, wondering if the goo had touched her or if her board would break her fall. Then she got a pull from her crash bracelet, and she spun and landed on the board mid-air and angled to follow Shay. The hover cars were in chaos, with the nanos affecting certain ones, whatever ones that got infected, and then the ones that were not affected were trying to distance themselves. They're like from the ones that were infected.
Gotta stay safe. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just chaos. Tally and Shay would have a few-minute head start as they organized themselves to figure out who was and wasn't affected. She glanced down and checked herself for the goo, but she was clean. She briefly wondered if that was a less serious weapon in the museum. What were the more serious weapons?
Which was? The goo?
That was a less serious weapon in the museum.
Oh my gosh.
The goo was. And she's like, I had heard about there being weapons,
well, she did say there were city-killing weapons in there.
Yeah,
so.
of mass destruction.
However,
so basically,
like a nuclear bomb.
The nuclear weapons, yeah. That leveled cities is what she said.
Yeah, oof.
Behind Tally, the hover cars that were not affected were in pursuit of both Shay and Tally. They called out to each other to let each other know that they were clean of the goo. Tally worried about the hover cars following them, but Shay told her that she had more grenades and not to worry.
Don't worry, girlfriend. I got the grenades.
I literally have so many grenades.
I took like 13.
I said 7. You said 13.
It's close.
We have too many grenades, is what we're saying. Tally asked what they were going to do, and Shay said that they wouldn't try anything while they were in the city so that they didn't hurt any innocent bystanders. When they reached the edge of the city over the river, they would jump.
She was going to let that man die in that goo building. And she's like, we don't want to hurt civilians.
No, the hover cars wouldn't want to hurt civilians.
Oh, okay.
That's
Shay's
why.
like, the civilians are at risk.
Yeah, she's like, no, because she said the specials won't try anything while they're in the city because
that makes sense.
They don't want this. Yeah.
Because
Shay couldn't give a fuck.
Oh my God. Get her out of a position of power.
She's selfish. Okay. They wouldn't be able to see them in their sneak suits once they jumped into the river because of, sneak
infrared
suits. Yeah.
Sneak suits.
In that. The hover cars at this point, while they're following Shay and Tally, are in stealth mode, not so as to not alarm the Crumblies. But when they got to the edge of the city, they would start to shoot.
Oh God, yeah.
Like
get 'em.
their
I
weapons.
kind of hope they get shot.
I hope Shay gets shot. As they shot out past the city, the hover cars started to shoot.
Oh my God.
Tally and Shay started to weave in and out to give a more difficult target. Shay throws a grenade, just like a grenade into the darkness. She has no idea who she's hitting.
Indiscriminately?
No, and I'm not joking. And without even trying, she hit a hover car.
Oh
so
my
someone
gosh.
died, probably.
Jeez. I didn't think about that.
I did, because I'm thinking with the nanos, I think 100% someone had to have died from the nanos being sprayed onto people.
Yeah.
And then
there's
she
not
just
just
hits
one
a random
person.
hover car.
Right.
So...
It's not that serious,
But
Shay.
but Tally makes an observation. She says there were so many hover cars following them that Shay wasn't even trying to aim and she hit one. That's how many were following them.
Okay.
They spotted the river and flew towards it. They set their boards to go straight after they jumped. And then they took the leap into the river. Tally stayed under for a while to make sure that the hover cars had passed by. She broke the surface and found her way to Shay. Tally and Shay were stoked to have made it out alive. It had been a super icy situation.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It was just like a cool trick. Just like hoverboarding through trees as an ugly.
That was unbelievably icy.
Yeah, I guess.
What the fuck? Plus, tomorrow, Zane would be in the forest headed to the Smokies, and they would be close behind. Tally was a little worried about if Dr. Cable would believe it was Zane who broke into the armory.
Brain damage shaking Zane.
Yeah, how did he pull that off? But Shay reassured her that the evidence would be gone to prove otherwise, and it would also prove that Zane had badass friends, which would help
His situation. Everybody, I guess.
And Zane truly didn't know how lucky he was.
Oh, okay.
According to Shay.
Okay. Okay, Shay.
Dude, we just leveled the whole building for you. You don't know how lucky you are.
Can't believe this. Wow.
Hundreds and hundreds of years, thousands of years of,
artifacts,
rusty, technology.
Equipment, yeah.
Probably the basis for our civilization is now gone.
There's
because
nuclear
we love
bombs
you.
in there.
Yeah, I wonder if that would set it off.
We'll find out at the end.
Part 2, Tracking Zane. Chapter 12, Cut Free. They met the small group of Crims the next night under the dam. There's about 8 of them, I believe. Tally and Shay had recovered quickly from last night's endeavors thanks to their special upgrades. The specials, all of the specials, like not just the cutters, everyone was out tonight in full force patrolling for whoever caused the chaos of the night before.
Right.
Even the city was worried about an attack from another city.
Right.
Like, could this have been
An attack.
Tally felt extremely icy from the whole thing.
She's like, whatever, that was sick.
Ready to follow Zane into the wild. When they arrived, Tally did make sure not to make eye contact with him, afraid that she'd be repulsed by his shakes.
Oh, no.
Paris was among the group found
Paris.
with Zane, and he was holding a cluster of balloons. Tally was cold and made a comment about how she couldn't believe he was actually going.
Yeah, that's true.
And he was like, well, I'm like bubblier now since I took the pill. So like I can do it. That's how I picture him. He's
Things
like
are different.
stuttering.
Yeah, all my friends are literally gone. I have to chase them.
I was like really bored when you all left. And like when Zane come back, I was like, oh, God damn, I was so bored. I couldn't get it into the hot airs. And so I was like, what do I do now?
None of the other clicks would take me.
None of the other things would take me. Turns out, like, I don't have as much clout as you do. That was fair.
That is hilarious.
I have to leave. This isn't doing it
I can
anymore.
do it.
I want to be popular in another group. Shay told them that they needed to be ready for a long trip. Be prepared. But the Crims had everything they needed, including plenty of spag bowl.
Woohoo.
Tally was grossed out just by the mention of it.
Long live Spag Bowl.
Long live spag bowl. The Crims readied themselves to leave. Then they tied their interface rings to each balloon. They would let them go, and it would create confusion on the location of each person, basically. Shay went to go take off Zane's interface collar. I called it a collar.
It pretty much is. It is.
I'm so sorry. I didn't know you owned him. He wasn't wearing a collar. Have you seen that?
Yeah,
on
of
TikTok?
course I've seen that.
That's Tally right now. I'm sorry, New Pretty Town. I didn't know you owned him. He wasn't wearing a collar.
Ooh, that's so good because they took it off.
And they take it off. Yeah. Tally is Sophia.
That's so good. Oh my gosh.
She's that little redhead bitch. But Zane said he wanted Tally to be the one to free him. Mm. She went to him, and at first, being so close made her dizzy. Like giving her memories of their time together.
Aww.
But then
she looked at him.
But then she noticed the trembling in his body, and then she was like, I'm going to throw up. Literally.
Nauseous.
Okay, with her hands a bit shaky, she cut through the metal of the collar. I keep calling it a collar. I don't know why. It feels like a collar.
It's around his neck. It's a collar.
Yeah, it's a collar. I'm sorry. I'm calling it a collar.
To the city, yeah.
Yeah. A ping went off, and Shay told them to release the balloons that they had already had ready.
Yes.
Tally finished cutting and went to take the chain off from around Zane's neck. Zane told her while she was close to try and change her mind. She said her mind was fine, and he asked why she felt she had to cut.
Yeah, why do you cut yourself, Tally?
Tally?
Then explain that.
And she says it makes me feel icy. It's like bubbly, but better. He asked what she was not feeling in order to have to do that. And he told her she could rewire herself again. She can choose what side she's on. She told him that it's not about sides. Everything she's doing is for them, their relationship.
She's like, I literally am working for you and I, not anything else.
Yeah, I love you. I just can't look at you. He said, so was he. Aww. She went to ask how, but they needed to go before the wardens caught them all. Shay handed him the tracker that they all knew that he wouldn't use. He urged her to keep trying, to change her mind. But she just told him to go as she tied a couple of balloons around the necklace and then let the balloons go. Mm-hmm. By the time they turned around, the group had already departed. Tally and Shay suited up in their sneak suits and gloves and headed out to follow them.
So slow. I imagine it's so slow.
Yeah, Zane's like wobbling on his hoverboard. And
going really slow.
Two people are like around him. I feel
making sure he doesn't fall.
I feel so bad for
It's
Zane.
so horrible. It's so horrible.
I feel like when I got the ick when David was too short, like when she
yeah. Yeah. Oh, when she was pretty and taller than him.
No, he's all short. Yeah. I feel like the same kind of ick I have with myself. Like when I just don't know. I just feel like
it's not his fault. He's doing his best.
He really is. And if she loved him enough, like it wouldn't matter for her. Like, I'm sorry. I stand by that. I don't care what they do to your brain. If you love someone enough, you'll fight through it.
Okay, but it's brain damage.
Here's my thing, though, because she's managed to fight through every ounce of brain damage she's had with any other situation, right? For everything else. Mm-hmm. Her morals, the things that she believes in, that she has.
Like to the core.
Her core, she's fought through for it. Mm-hmm. Even right now, you see breakthroughs of like what's wrong and right. Like, she breaks through it. But for these people that she says she's in love with.
What the fuck?
Like, she's fought harder for Shay, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Throughout this series. And Shay's a fucking bitch.
Poor Zane.
I know.
Oh, I hate it.
He's like, I still love you. And she's like, you're gross.
But I still
wanted
to try.
She's like in love with the idea of what he could be if he was a cutter.
Yeah.
That's what she's not in love with him.
She's waiting
She's
for him
in love with an idea.
to be special. Yeah. So she can love him again. It's crazy.
Chapter 13, Outside. Zane's escape went easy because the Crims had hundreds of their pretty allies also release their interface rings on balloons the same night that they left.
Wow.
So like the wardens were busy sorting that out.
That's a good trick.
Hours.
Oh, I bet.
Shay was pleased with the trick as well, saying Zane would make a good cutter. They followed the Crims about a kilometer back as they flew. They took a longer route out of town that did include some hiking, so they would be less likely to get caught.
Of course.
Tally made a comment in concern for Zane, and Shay made an annoyed retort on how she needed to stop worrying or this is going to be too long of a trip.
You need to quiet down over there.
You need to
Tally.
cut it out.
her southern a past southern life comes out.
That's from what is that show?
What?
That's that show. Cut it out. What is the show?
I have no idea.
Full House.
Well, who says that?
The uncle. The chip.
John Stamos?
No, the other one, uncle, the nerdy one.
Oh, the funny one?
That cut it out.
I'm sorry, I haven't seen that in many, many years.
I haven't seen it in a minute. It just came to me like a
That's
a memory,
hilarious.
A memory from the
I
depths
thought
of my
Shay
brain.
had like a past life or like a soul inside of her that was super country, and it just comes out when she's angry at Tally.
No, they watched Full House.
Oh, they watched Full House.
300 years in the future.
That's it. Yeah, so they saw reruns.
They see reruns of Full House.
Yes, that's what it is.
That's the one thing that survived.
Full House.
About an hour later, Tally and Shay had gone ahead to the river that the Crims were hiking to. Tally was on edge the whole time, waiting for them to catch up, worried that Zane would get hurt somehow. She kept popping out of the tree line to check on how close they were. She wanted to go check again, and Shay annoyingly was like, yeah, whatever, just fucking go because you're kind of pissing me off and I'm trying to skip this rock. Okay.
Oh yeah, she's like
she was
skipping rocks.
She's like, I'm trying to skip it 14 times now. I need you to shut the fuck up. So please go.
And
Like,
she's doing
please.
it. She's like 14. Throw it.
Yeah.
14 perfect skips.
That's crazy.
That is crazy.
When Tally went up, she noticed that there was an extra person with the group.
Who dat?
Yeah, I know, dude. Oh my God, this had me going mad crazy. The Crims started down the river on their hoverboards, but the extra person stayed behind. Shay told Tally to check out who that person was, and she would follow the Crims. Tally rode her hoverboard over to where the Crims had met the mysterious other person. She could smell a scent of unwashed human and followed it into the woods.
Oh, yeah.
Did you know who it was? But
No,
by this point,
no. I was shocked the first time I read it.
I guessed.
Good.
Because she kept mentioning the smell.
Yeah. And
So
this man's was very smelly.
very smelly.
As we know.
She moved ahead of the smell to cut the person off in their tracks. She hid high in the tree branches of like a very dense area with her sneak suit on and waiting and like moving kind of with like preternatural stillness.
Yeah.
Like in the trees that no one else would have caught. As the person walked through the forest, Tally noticed that he had a type of natural grace, as if he was accustomed to moving in nature.
And it's not David because he does that too.
And he doesn't smell this bad.
Yeah.
When he was about to pass her, he slowed and then stopped, as if he could feel her presence or a threat near him.
Ooh.
The person didn't move for a long time, and then suddenly he tipped his head up and was gazing upward in Tally's direction. Tally dropped down immediately and pinned the man to the ground. The man hissed out the word, Seychelles.
Oh no. It's Andrew Simpson Smith.
Andrew Simpson Smith. She recognized the word and pulled him to his feet. She said, I know you. And he didn't say anything until she took off her sneak suit hood. To which he replied, Youngblood, you have changed.
Reunited.
Chapter 14.
You have changed.
You have changed.
You look like a pirate.
You look like a pirate. You look scary like a wolf. Barbarian. He for whatever reason, I feel like I do kind of like see Andrew Simpson Smith as like a very young, like 12-year-old. I don't know what it is.
Really?
So she like gives like very young vibes.
I think he's like 18.
I'm
he's
sure
still
you're right.
Super young, yeah, but not 12.
It's not 12.
That's funny.
Oh my God. He's definitely not a 40-year-old man. I know that for sure.
Right.
Okay. Chapter 14, Barbarian. It was Andrew Simpson Smith.
Woo, he's back. Yeah.
Woo! Love you.
podcast. That was an amazing use
That
of
was
that
that was just an amazing time. I'm so excited.
Woo!
So he was from the experiment she accidentally crashed upon whatever when she was escaping New Pretty Town last book.
Remember?
Yeah. He had gotten out or something. He had gotten somewhere by figuring out what the little men that were guarding his city, whatever, were scared of.
Yeah, he's like,
quotes.
they weren't scared of rocks. They weren't scared of arrows. I tried water. I tried yelling at them.
I tried like getting
Spitting
big
them.
like a bear.
Trying bigger than them.
I tried jumping up and down. None of it worked. But you know what did work? Fire. Yeah. He started a whole ass forest fire to get out of his little area.
Yeah, and they ran away. They were afraid of fire.
He's lucky. Very lucky. He could have gotten out of control. He could have burned his whole thing to the ground.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. Which did work, and he was able to get out, but the little men came back, and when they did, they were not afraid of fire anymore.
Oh, no.
I know.
How did he know that? Did he got out?
I
Or
don't
he tried
know.
to burn it again to let his friends out?
The thing is, I think it works both ways. Like, I don't think anyone can get in that area or out.
Right.
So I'm sure he noticed that he couldn't get back in.
Oh, he's like, oh, I left my favorite knife. I have to go get that.
Yeah. Oh, I left my whole village. Maybe I should go get them.
I had to go get my village. I forgot.
Yeah. Oh, fuck. He had... I forgot the women. Nah, I forgot the other men. He had been out in the real world for 27 days and had clearly made some new friends. She asked how he knew the Crims were coming and when to meet them. He was weary about answering at first, but then said that he understood why she wanted to know. Tally was following her boyfriend.
Aw.
Oh, my boyfriend.
Who he had heard about.
Yeah. What's his name? Something Glass. George Glass.
What?
Shit.
Another
That's
reference?
another reference
Shoot.
from the Brady
Family.
Bunch.
Wow.
George
What's
Glass.
happening?
I didn't know there was a George Glass that went to our school.
No idea. No idea.
It's very...
But wow, family.
Sure, Jan. You haven't seen that? Sure, Jan.
No.
I'm going to show it to you. I'm gonna show
Okay.
it to you.
Thank you.
He said that when he realized he couldn't go home because he was, stuck,
Trapped.
he went to the Rusty Ruins to try and find Tally.
Aww.
But that's where he met the New Smokies instead.
He was looking for her. That's so sweet.
I know. And now he helps runaways. And he is able to use their flying machines to go over the little men and get his villagers that were trapped in the area out as well.
Yay. Good job, Andrew.
Yeah. Tally was worried about this because she knew the villagers had a bit of an outdated way of life.
They're kind of violent.
A little violent and, murdery. Savage. Yeah, savage is a good word.
Yeah.
Tally then asked how he helped the runaways. He said he was giving them directions to the new smoke. He would give her the directions too once she spoke the magic words.
It's all yours. Just tell me the phrase.
Just tell me the right phrase. And she's like, obviously I don't know the magic words, but she tried to appeal to their friendship. She's like, dude, we've go so far back. Like, why would you ever need to know a magic word from me? Like, I'm it. I'm your friend.
We're friends. Yeah.
He did not budge though. He said he made a promise, and the Smoky said that the city had taken her away and done things to her.
Oh.
Yeah.
Like, don't trust Tally if you see her again.
Yeah.
She's not the same.
She's not the same. Looking into his eyes, she realized that she had to tell him the truth because he kind of like saw through her a little bit because he was a little bit like, I don't know, like a child.
Yeah, childlike.
Yeah.
Yeah. He only knows what he's been told and what he sees.
Yeah. She showed him her cuts and said that those were marks of her love for Zane.
Oh, God.
I know.
I don't love that.
I don't either. Pretties typically never had scars, so this was meaningful because she wanted them there as a symbol of her love.
Ooh, okay.
And Zane didn't really want her help right now for mysterious reasons.
Mysterious reasons. Yeah.
Seriously. He said without her, he would still be trapped in his little world and ignorant to the truth. He didn't have the exact location of the smoke, but he did have a position finder that had a route to the smoke programmed in. Before giving it to her, he asked her, "Do you still challenge the gods, Youngblood?" She realized after everything she'd done over the past couple days, breaking into the museum/armory and practically destroying it, not telling Dr. Cable of their plans, setting this whole thing up only to fix Zane, she definitely still challenged the gods.
Yeah, just not in the right way.
Not in the way that maybe Andrew Simpson Smith is asking her if she challenges the gods, but
She's
like
very manipulative.
like what?
She's not lying.
Yeah. He gave her the position finder and told her to follow her new boyfriend.
Oh.
And tell the new smoke that Andrew Simpson Smith was very helpful.
Oh. He's trying to like move up in ranks.
He's like, will you tell them that Andrew Simpson Smith was very helpful? I think he just like cares that he's doing the right thing.
Yeah, and it's very sweet because when Tally left him, she said, don't trust the god. Like, we're not gods. We're people. Keep trying to get out. Find your own way. And he is. And he's like, look, I'm doing it, Tally.
And now she's using him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's horrible.
It's horrible. This is one of the things that I don't think I can, even with whatever in her head, I still don't think I can
that's
ever
tough.
forgive her for, because Andrew Simpson Smith is a murderous angel that needs to be protected.
A murderous angel
at all costs.
Write that down. I'm gonna write that down.
He's a cute little murderous angel that needs to be protected at all costs. He just murdered a couple times.
Yeah, and then you know what? It was tradition.
It was the outsiders.
Yeah.
They killed his father.
Yeah, he had to.
He had to.
Justice for Andrew.
Justice for Andrew. No jail time.
Chapter 15, Split. Tally knew that telling Shay about the position finder would change everything, and she'd speed off to the new smoke and take it down, and that doesn't help Zane. She goes to cut herself for clarity, but remembers Zane's face as he looked at her scars and decided against cutting herself. She thinks about how the old Tally would have lied to Shay about the position finder, but she's special now. She had clarity and strength, so she tells Shay the truth over their skintenna. When she caught up with Shay, the Crims had made camp. Shay was playing with the position finder and found out that it won't show them where the smoke is. It just gives them a waypoint, and then when they get to that waypoint, it shows them the next waypoint, etc., etc. And she said, it'll probably take us the scenic route. And Tally's like, it won't be us.
This is pain. I hate this part. I'm sorry. It's painful.
Shay immediately flips her own script again. She goes off saying, staying with Zane is a waste of time. You're so pathetic. Don't you have any faith in him? You keep telling me he's special. Tally says, it's not about that. You can go ahead, but I'm staying with Zane. Shay tries to pull rank and accuses Tally of choosing the bubbleheads over Fausto and the Cutters. And Tally says she's choosing Zane. Shay says, you have to come. You promised you'd stop making trouble. And Tally corrects her and adds the big if they made Zane special. She's like, what are you going to do? Report me to Dr. Cable? Shay threatens to go right now over to Zane and tell him he's a joke and that Tally's been tricking him and laughing at him. See if he becomes special after he runs home scared. Tally thinks and says that the position finder might lead you to a person who's not going to help. One of us has to stay just in case. Again, Shay says, you don't give a shit about Fausto, do you? Tally reminds her that she doesn't have to stay. Like, you can go, Shay. You can go by yourself. Shay is pissed and walks away, cuts herself for clarity, comes back, and agrees to the split. Tally smiles, and then Shay lays into her again about how she really thought Tally had changed, but it's only about Tally and her latest boyfriend. Nothing else matters to you since Zane reappeared, and I tried so hard to please you. Quote, I really thought you'd change, but you're still the same self-centered little ugly you've always been. That's what's amazing about you, Tally. Even Dr. Cable and her surgeons don't stand a chance against your ego. Ooh. She calls her a failure as a special, gives her some smart plastic, some communication stuff, and a grenade. Take this grenade, and calls Zane Shake Boy. Tally starts to ask her a question about her attitude, and Shay says, stop talking to me. I have to go find Fausto, who's my responsibility. Tally hopes that he's okay, and Shay says, I'm done with caring about you. I'm done caring about what you hope or think, Tally, forever. And then Shay gets on her board and disappears. Tally tries to think of something to say to explain, but then Shay is out of range of the antenna, and now she's alone hiding with the Crims. Kind of.
I'm upset
about
all of it.
All of it. It's, oh God. It's just, Shay is mean.
She's so mean because it's also like
cuts her to the core.
None of this has ever been Tally's decision. Like, honest to God, I don't think Tally has made a decision for herself one time.
Yeah.
Since
the only decision she made was staying ugly in the smoke.
That was it.
And then it didn't go well.
And so it's like, yeah, you can't force all these lifestyles on me, Shay, and just assume that I'm just going to like sit and be happy about it.
But then Shay is working with her. She's like, okay, I'll help you make Zane special. Let's go do this. And then something else comes up, wants to leave, and then is mad at Tally for wanting to stay with Zane.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. I don't disagree with that at all.
Here, everywhere.
And it's like, shouldn't that be like a positive trait? The fact that like Tally does not want to leave one of her friends behind. Like Shay wants her clique of cutters to be like completely absorbed in each other,
right?
And like trust each other with everything. All Tally wants is for Zane to be a cutter. She like this is bit a thing for her since the second she got to the Cutter situation. Everyone knows this is an expectation that she's had the entire time.
Yeah.
She's wanted Zayn to be Cutter. So why does Shay all of a sudden think that like that's going to change? Like, I don't understand.
I don't know. Yeah.
Maybe it's because Shay felt like Tally had left her behind when they all left the city.
Or maybe for Shay that it would be easier for her to leave somebody like a boyfriend behind. Like that's not as important as her Cutter. So why can't Tally do the same thing?
Because technically Shay did leave Tally behind when she went to go to the smoke. That's the only time Shay's ever like intentionally left her behind.
Yeah. I don't know. She just doesn't care about Zayn as much.
Which is crazy because Zayn was her friend, her longtime friend.
Yeah, first. Yeah.
First.
In
she
the
acts
ugly
like
dorms,
they've never had a relationship.
Yeah, that's
she acts
crazy.
like they've never had a friendship.
She doesn't care about him.
She does not care about him.
No.
So what makes her relationship with Fausto any different? Just because he's
a Cutter? Yeah, and she's the leader of the Cutters, and so she feels responsible for him.
I mean, to be fair, I'd have an undying loyalty to Fausto as well, but I'm just saying.
Yeah, why doesn't it extend to your crim friend who could be special with you?
If I had to choose between Zayn and Fausto, I personally would choose Fausto.
Is it because Zayn's shaky?
No.
I know.
It's because I just love Fausto.
I know, he's so cool. Oh man, I wonder what he's up to.
And he tricked the hoverboards. He's just smarter, I think, than everyone else.
I love that he tricked the hoverboards for them and he's like, go have fun. And he didn't go with him.
Yeah, he definitely needs to learn how to fly, but I am obsessed with Fausto.
Oh, he can't fly still.
He probably can now after his like month of Cutter training. He's probably fine.
Yeah. The Cutter training was like very intense.
Yeah, it was crash course.
Chapter 16, Incompetence. Tally watches the Crims as they fail to start a fire and then settle into their sleeping bags. At least they were smart enough to sleep during the day and travel at night. So she decides to get rest, as she may not have many opportunities without Shay to trade shifts. She sits cross-legged, facing the Crims, and sets her like internal alarm clock, is how I would describe it.
Yes,
to ping every 10 minutes, which sounds extreme. Every 10 minutes, it's crazy. She sleeps like this for a few hours, thinking about her and Shay's fight and how maybe Shay was destined to hate her. And she thinks a lot about all that, but that was it. That was my summary. When the sun was almost at its peak, she's woken up by a blinding flash of light that turns out to be the Crim's hoverboards charging in the sun on the riverbank. But this is not good. Those hoverboards are basically beacons for any passing warden patrol car. And she feels a wave of shame for having betrayed Shay to babysit dumb bubbleheads. She's like, oh my God, what am I doing? She listens in on the city's official channels, and indeed a warden patrol car is heading their way in like a half hour. She decides to fix this herself so Zayn doesn't get caught. So she swims to their camp and painstakingly belly crawls toward the nearest hoverboard, drags it into the trees, and wedges it in there in a way that hopefully looks like it was caught by the wind and flung into the trees. It took a long time to do all 8 hoverboards, and before she leaves, she like stops to stare at Zayn just to look at him. And he wakes up and is confused but sees her and says, hey, really croakily, and he went to go clear his throat, but before...
Say it croakily.
Hey.
That's so good.
Thank you so much. Hey. Before he could clear his throat, she stabbed him with her needle, her ring, or whatever, like a sedative, because he fell back asleep as she whispered, just a dream. And then
that will help.
And then she swam away, and the hover car never saw them, so they were safe. She only stayed like 10 meters away from their camp after this. That's so close. The Crims all woke up, ate, got ready.
Is that a football field?
No, 10 meters. Okay, I think...
What's a meter? How long is a meter? 3 feet?
3 feet. 30 feet.
That's only 30 feet?
Yeah.
How far is 30 feet?
Okay.
1/3 of a football field?
This room, I think a football field is 300 feet. So... just
1/10 of a football field?
Hold on.
Is
this
that
room
1/10?
is like 20 feet, so 10 feet longer. That's here to that little garage. That's close. Anyways.
That's close, yeah.
The Crims all woke up, ate, got ready to leave, etc., except Zayn. He was still sleepy because of her sedative and drugs, and Paris had to shake him awake when it was time to go. She wondered what he remembered. Paris took him to the hoverboards, and Tally can tell that if Zayn thought that he was dreaming, he at least knows the part about the hoverboards moving was true. So he scans the trees around him looking for her, but he doesn't spot her, of course, because she's 30 feet away. That's so close. It's so close. Oh my gosh.
I know.
Somebody
I'm
could have
looking
went
up how
and peed next to
far-
her.
I'm looking how far a football field is too.
Oh, okay.
It
yeah.
is. It's 360 feet. I thought that's long. That's a long.
Yeah.
I guess that makes sense. I thought it was 100 feet.
Can you imagine?
I can't because I can't. I don't have the comprehension of what 100 feet is. So
No.
I can't imagine.
Can't.
I can't even imagine.
It's
how
1/3 of a football field. 30,
No,
30 yards.
30 yards. She's 30 She's
30 meters. It's
no,
different.
she's 10 meters. I thought.
Sorry. The fucking American not metric system. What is it called? The U.S.
Metric system.
metric system?
I don't know any metric system.
So sorry. So 10 meters. Whatever that is.
30 feet. A meter.
It's different from a yard.
No, that's 30 feet though.
Okay.
Because isn't it 3 feet?
How many feet is a meter? 3 foot, 3 inches. So very close. Very
Okay,
close.
yeah.
So 30 feet.
30
so 30 feet.
30 to 33 feet.
Exactly. Too close. Anyways, it doesn't matter. Chapter 17, Invisible. The Crims fell into a routine, and so did Tally in tow, and they headed south along the coast and onto a railroad track. Someone had made the gaps safe for hoverboards so they never had to hike, which is so nice. It sounds fun. She could see fields of the white orchids in the distance, but for whatever reason, they didn't seem to grow too close to the ocean. She wonders if Shay had made it and if this trip will end up meaning nothing if her and Dr. Keeble were already there waiting to catch Zane and company. Alone, with nothing much to do except think, Tally wonders if what Shay said was true. Was she really a self-centered monster? How could she be when the only decisions she had really made were staying ugly in the smoke, escaping New Pretty Town with Zane, and splitting up with Shay to protect Zane? And none of those things ended up well. Everything else had happened because of threats, accidents, lesions in her brain, and surgery changing her mind for her. And yet her and Shay always ended up on opposite sides. Why? She misses her connection with the other Crims. She's getting bored, feeling not special, when she notices Zane's hoverboard had been left whipping around in the ocean breeze, and she's excited to have something to do. So she sneaks into camp to save the hoverboard, and weirdly, there's an open book nearby, and she's like, that's so crazy. The pages are like snapping in the wind. She goes to grab the board just as it's about to be ripped free of whatever they used to weigh it down, rocks probably, when she sees that it's securely tied to a stake. She turned around and Zane was watching her. He set the book out to mask his footsteps. Very smart. She went to stab him again, but he had like a bunch of shit in his hands, like metal
Pots and pans. Yeah.
like his arms were full of pots and pans.
Yeah.
That would make a bunch of noise and wake up the other Crims if he dropped them. Very smart. He wanted to talk
Very
to her.
demure, very cutesy.
Very mindful.
Very mindful.
He wanted to talk to her alone, and she nods in agreement, and they creep out of camp. She's already repulsed by his shaking and can't even look at his face. He tells her that others don't know about her. He wasn't even sure himself if like she was real, if she was actually there. And he figured she was protecting them. And he's like, well, thank God she's out there protecting us. He also guesses that she's out here alone and against orders. Zane's afraid that
Not exactly true, but it's fine.
Yeah. And she's like, she didn't say anything. She's like,
I just picture Tally being able to give away everything in her face.
yes.
Like when someone calls her out, she's like, oh, that's crazy that you think that. I don't know how to tell you anything different. Like her with Andrew Simpson Smith. Like,
Yeah.
he's like, why are you out here? Like, why do you, give me the password? And she's like, I don't have that. But we're friends. Right?
I'm worried about my boyfriend.
Yeah, my boyfriend. I love him.
Zane's afraid that he has some sort of internal tracker again. He's like, oh no, it's not. Like, how did you find us? Oh no, it's not in my body again, is it? But Tally tells him she's just staying nearby. Their smell is easy enough to follow. He also thinks that Tally is there protecting them, and this whole trip isn't a trap when Dr. Keeble is probably waiting for them at the rendezvous point. So he's like, oh my God. He was worried that the trip was a trap, but seeing Tally relieved him of his worries.
Oh, he's stressing me out because he's acting real naive.
Yeah.
Like no brain lesion is making him
hate
stupider.
it. Come on. She's a special. Like, obviously something's going on. Tally is having an identity crisis. Zane asks if the wild is changing her, and she doesn't know what to feel anymore. She tells him she feels like a collection of brainwashing, surgeries, and cures. She's really been through the ringer.
Yeah, that's fair.
She's not looking at him this whole time, and of course he notices. He says it makes sense that Dr. Keeble made specials see everyone else as disgusting, and she wishes she didn't have to have a special mind for that reason. Zane is struggling with the fact that Tally can't look at him. He brings up David and how David had called Tally beautiful even when she was ugly. So what's wrong with you that you can't look at me right now because I'm shaking a little bit? She sidesteps the question by saying she's trying to fix the situation. She's like, I'm trying to fix it. Like, I'm doing my best.
But instead of fixing herself, she wants to fix him.
Yeah.
And that's the problem.
That's not cool.
Right.
Tally thought her way out of being a bubblehead with just a kiss. Zane thinks she can do it again. Tally says it's not that simple. And he's like, you're right. You're so special. No one can touch you. You have to cut yourself just to feel something. She says she doesn't do that anymore. And Zane says, so you can change. They kiss, and Tally gets into it for a moment until Zane touches her with his gross, trembling fingers. She tried to pull back, but Zane held onto her arm, and an unstoppable flash of anger and disgust rose within her. She sent razor-sharp spines rolling across her sneak suit that cut Zane's fingers and palm, and he cried out in pain. She sprints away.
So mean.
She sprints away, disgusted at herself for letting someone not special and crippled kiss her. She literally almost threw up. Zane is following her, and she jumps off a cliff into the ocean to avoid him. It's so awful. She lets a rip current carry her half a kilometer away. I don't know how far that is.
No, me either. Half a football field.
Half a mile.
A football field, probably. Maybe 2 or 3.
Like,
in football fields, how long, how far do you think we are football fields?
How many football fields away is a half a kilometer?
I don't know why that's like my concept of I for whatever reason I can understand like the length of a football field in terms of distance away from me.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But so that's all I can get.
That's how snipers in the military judge distance
On football fields?
So whatever they know, like they know like a basketball hoop is 10 feet. They know like whatever else is this many feet. A football yard is 300 yards. So that's how they judge distance.
That's, yeah.
According to one scene from one movie that I watched.
Oh, I'm obsessed.
Anyways.
I love that.
She could see Zane scanning the waves, looking for her, his bleeding hand wrapped in his jacket. Oh my God. She does feel shame about what she did, and she can't face him. So she floats until he goes back to camp, and then she swims back to shore. That is so sad.
All I'm thinking is the rip current is going to take her and drown her, but then she's special, so she'll be fine.
Yeah, she can swim right through it.
I forgot about that, honestly.
It's so sad that he was like looking for her and scanning the waves. And then
the only thing I can picture is the scene in Eclipse when we see Victoria floating out like from the cliff. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Well,
after Bella had jumped, she's looking at Bella.
In the movie?
Yeah.
Oh.
That's what I picture.
Yeah. 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 Because that does remind me of that.
Right?
Mm-hmm. It did. I was going to say Twilight before you said anything, but I kept my mouth shut. And
no, Twilight is it. Twilight's it.
Chapter 18, Bones. After that, the trip seemed to take forever, and Tally can barely stand to be in her own skin. She's so disgusted at herself how quickly she was unraveled by a kiss. She wants to cut herself again. She wants to be more human. She wanted to sneak into camp to tell Zane how bad she felt, but she couldn't face him after almost throwing up in his face. And she cut his hands, and she felt bad.
No, yeah, I would too.
The Crims come to a stop in the middle of the night at the edge of a cliff at the end of 2 weeks of traveling. This is the end of the road, according to the position finder. Callie can smell something rotten and looks around and finds the remnants of fish and other bones and a campfire nearby, and concludes it was most likely made by one of Andrew Simpson Smith's people. And she's like, what are they up to? Revenge on the city, or just chilling? They're just out here chilling.
They're just out here being carnivores.
Yeah, what are they
eating fish and shit?
Not carnivores.
Carnivores.
Oh, carnivores. For some reason, I thought cannibals. I'm like, they're not eating other people. Where did you see that? My bad.
That's so funny.
Oops.
Being pescatarians over here.
Just eating fish.
Eat fish.
Presbyterian.
Is that what it is?
No, it's pescatarian. Okay. She stays away for the rest of the night, and they came 3 hours later. Chapter 19, New Arrivals. 14 people, according to her infrared, approach, and the leading lady was clearly from the reservation. She's worried they might be a violent raiding party, but can quickly see that only 2 wore the, quote, skins of Andrew's people, and the rest were city kids. They're not new arrivals. They were just on a water run, apparently. Also, the city kids' fashion was really unusual. Then one of them spoke with a weird accent, and she realized they were from a different city.
They're like, well, can you imagine that we're here in the Smokies? We're trying to get to the
to the new spot.
or someone at the Boston. Yeah, Boston. Yeah, we're just trying to get to the.
Yeah, they come from all over the country. I love.
What's Midwest?
We're Midwest.
Yeah, but what's an accent? Give me an accent.
There's no. This is the Midwest.
We getting water from the. No, what's Fargo? Oh yeah, we're from.
Fargo.
Oh yeah, we're from up north. Yeah,
Yeah.
please and thank you. That's got Southern. I can't do one accent at a time.
Those were good.
Thank you. Thank you.
That was the apparently good.
Apparently.
Anyways, okay, so the kid's from a different city, which I guess is to be expected because she's halfway to the equator by now, is what she said. By the way, she's in her sneak suit this entire trip, constantly setting it to blend in with her surroundings, and it really is over the top, but she's been invisible this whole time, like always. In the distance, I just thought that was like, it needed to be said.
Yeah.
She set her sneak suit to set like to the color of the waves when she was in the water hiding from Zane.
I think the sneak suit just does that. Like I think it just adapts to where she is.
Sometimes it does, and sometimes she like does it manually. So it's really weird. In the distance from the south, a helicopter approaches and she sprints to her hoverboard because she doesn't want to lose it because she knows what helicopters do.
Yeah.
The helicopter was huge. It had 2 spinning blades on top, like a military helicopter.
Okay, I see
like,
it now.
Like from the movies.
Yeah.
And real life.
Yeah.
It lands on the cliff's edge, and its crew are the Rangers, like the ones that she had met on her way to the smoke.
What? Are the Rangers a part of this, like officially?
I think they always were. And it's just bigger now.
I thought that they were just like, they helped because they had like a mutual understanding, but it wasn't because like the Rangers gave a shit about people running away. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think they were actively helping for their agenda.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
This feels different. This feels like
the second half of the book will answer all these questions.
Okay. I haven't read it. Clearly.
They looked skeptical of the Crims, but accepted the position finder and scanned their bodies and specifically their teeth and their stuff for bugs.
Specifically
they did. They're like, open your mouth. Okay.
Yeah.
Then they herd all 20 runaways onto the helicopter and stick their boards to the outside. To Tally, this is a sign the smoke must be nearby because like that's so many people on that helicopter. Like it can't be far.
Yeah.
She's like, what do? I can't physically follow a helicopter. They're too fast. WWSD. What would Shay do? What did she do? Is she still here?
Yeah. What the fuck did she do?
Did she disguise herself as an ugly? Did she follow the helicopter somehow? She sees a human-sized space on the undercarriage of the helicopter and decides she's going to try and occupy it. Finally, something that will make her feel special again. She's excited to do something again because she's been bored for 2 weeks. And that is the end of the chapter. That's where we're leaving off for this week.
That's a good spot.
Yeah. So we don't know the name of the new city that they're in, but I feel like I looked it up and I think I know where they are. And she traveled 1,255 miles.
Where do you think she is?
San Diego.
Oh, San Diego.
Yeah.
San
Diego. Because they were in
So the
Seattle.
accents she's probably hearing are like, oh my God.
Valley Girl.
Oh my God. We're like totally here.
Like, where do you think these Smokies were from? Like, Vegas?
Like totally, like probably like down south. Do you know what I mean?
Colorado, Arizona.
Colorado doesn't really have an accent. It's just like we're
true,
Colorado or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like what I'm saying.
Texas, probably Texans.
Yeah,
it probably is Texas,
yeah.
Like a southern accent.
Down south.
That's hilarious. I want to see.
Bless your heart.
Pretty Texans.
I'd like to know if they still use "bless your heart."
I want to know if the fashions are still like cowboy boots and cowboy hats and belt,
I agree.
like plaid and
Bell bottom jeans
and et cetera,
and horses. Yeah.
All right. How do you feel about this half of the book?
I feel good. I like it so far.
Okay, yeah, there's a lot going on.
Interesting to see her on the enemy lines.
It's interesting how in Ugly she was like, I'm all about being an ugly. And then in Pretty, she's like, oh, I'm a pretty, but I also don't want these lesions anymore all of a sudden. And then she like joins the specials and is on the opposite side. It's crazy.
I think it's interesting because like this is the first time we don't know what's going on with Tally. Like there's clear something's wrong,
right?
But we don't know what,
right? And we're kind of being gaslit by Tally herself because she is icy, right? She doesn't have the lesions. She remembers everything correctly. She has her memory, yeah.
And
but also like
we know that there's something wrong.
Yeah, because her feelings about Zayn are not right, and she knows that, and she voices that constantly, and she doesn't want to be that way anymore. She wants to be human. So that to me says, well, you're not human.
Well, and we know that she doesn't blame Maddie and David for what happened to Zayn. She blames herself. Mm-hmm. Like, if she were herself, she would blame herself because those were meant for her. I could see how she maybe blames Maddie a little bit because she didn't explain
blame Maddie because it should have been written, take both the pills, one person, this is one dose.
But how she blames David is like, that is a red flag for me because David truly didn't do anything. And Tally claims she got seduced, but it's like, okay, girl, like you could have denied him. Yeah. And she knows that. Like she hasn't blamed anyone for anything.
Young love.
Like up until this, when she's been her full self, she has never blamed anyone else for anything that's happened. She's like, except for maybe Dr. Cable. Yeah. That's it. So the fact that now she's in a mode in her brain where every single thing that's happened is being blamed on other people. Yeah. That's a red flag for me. Yeah, she's the accountability queen.
Right. Yeah.
And that's not where she's at right now.
We'll see if she comes out of it.
Yeah, I hope so. Fingers crossed.
See what happens. Okay, what's your quote of the week? Oh, my quote was, having a brain hurts so much sometimes. Oh my God,
shut the fuck up. Is that yours? That's mine.
Is that the only one you wrote down?
Yeah, it was. Say it again. Sorry, I interrupted you.
Having a brain hurts so much sometimes.
Yeah,
that was just such a good one.
It was, and it does hurt.
Yeah, and you know what? When that was written, it was true, and when I'm sure in like beginning of history, it was true, and right now it's true.
There's been like multiple people that have like the highest IQs and like stuff like that have said that being so smart is almost like more, they wish that they like were stupider. As smart.
Yeah, I can totally
because it's so taxing.
Give me the lesions. I don't want to know all this horrible stuff.
Well, even just like being able to work problems or like, you know,
or being like relied on to solve things.
Being like Albert Einstein and realizing that like the world is different, or like being the person that realized that the earth is, you know, round instead of flat, you know, for flat earthers, if you listen to our podcast, like, I'm sorry, you're wrong.
You're just wrong.
You're just wrong. I hope.
Take a plane ride. Just look.
If that makes you stop listening, I don't care. Earth is literally round.
No, I don't care either.
Earth is literally round.
If you're a flat earther, like reach out.
Reach out.
We want to know.
I don't want to know why. I just reach out.
Yeah, I'm just curious if you're listening. If they're
I'm actually just curious. You just like figuring those things out, like learning the light bulb, like how to like create electricity, things like that. Like that's got to be so taxing mentally.
Yeah, I mean, they say ignorance is bliss, and I never understood that more.
The things that I don't know, I always feel bliss. Every time I learn something, I feel way more drained.
I like when people say on TikTok, like someone said everything. I don't know anything about Bridgerton, but like everything that I've learned about Bridgerton has been against my will.
Yeah, has been shoved down my throat.
I think that's so funny when people say that.
Yeah, same.
But that's so true when you learn something like awful. Like, I wish I didn't know that. I wish I didn't know
There are certain celebrities that I feel like I learned like Jennifer Lopez. Everything I learned about J-Lo is shoved down my throat.
Just learn against your will.
Everything I learned about Blake Lively and the whole thing about ends with us was shoved down my throat.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
But I built my For You page brick by brick.
That's right. And now it's full of stuff I don't even understand.
Yeah, well, it's probably my fault. Sorry.
It's like all these text messages between someone named Sedona and someone else.
Oh, I can explain that whole thing to you because it's crazy. Okay. Shoved down my throat, but I'm addicted now. That shit is on the oh my God. You just wait. We'll talk about that later. Oh, damn.
Okay. I do want to know. Okay, so let's finish it up.
Brick by brick. Sorry.
Who would you be?
Fausto.
Oh. Yay, we love him.
Kidnapped and never appeared again.
He'll come back in the second half. We'll see him again. Yeah. I picked one of the Southern Runaways from Texas.
That's fair. From Texas. You don't know.
I don't, but it's canon event in my head now.
Yeah, that's fair.
Who would you want to be?
The new Smokey that's being seduced by David. Probably.
That's such a good one. That is so good.
I don't like David, but I have to know what the big deal is.
They're flirting on their hoverboards while being chased by specials.
They brush their fingertips, bro, in front of his ex-girlfriend that he knew was chasing him.
Both of his ex-girlfriends. That is bold. Right before he dumped his other ex-girlfriend in the river. Or after, I'm not sure.
No, right before.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. This man is an absolute menace, and I have to know the appeal. I have to know the appeal.
Oh, that's so funny. I love that. I picked Fausto. Kidnapped. Never be seen again.
I love that though. Back with the Smokies. Probably getting fixed.
Yeah, probably.
I agree.
Favorite character in this half?
Oh my God, you're gonna die. I kind of love Ho.
Because of his name?
No, because he was just like not like doing anything. Like just like, whatever with the ugly boy.
He's a cutter, but like
and
he's actually not. Cutters are supposed to be like this really tight clique, but he's kind of still on the outside.
He's still kind of on the outside. He like stayed with the ugly boy and then was like trying to tell Tally what happened. Instead, she pushes him off the hoverboard.
And he's like, "What are you doing, Tally? What are you doing?"
Yeah, like he's just so funny. I love him. So Ho.
Okay, I love that. That's a really niche take.
Is that favorite character? Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, Ho for sure.
Okay,
I stand by that.
I pick Zane.
I do love Zane.
Yeah. Ugh.
I just feel too sorry for him.
I do feel really sorry for him. I want him to ditch Tally.
Every time he's in our chapter, like I cringe because of how sad it is.
Yeah.
And so I can't it's too much for me. Like this is too sad.
Poor
I'm sorry.
Zane.
I love you, but Jesus.
Oh gosh. Who's your least favorite character?
Shay.
Oh, yeah. Shay is a mega bitch. She's a mega bitch. I picked Tally. Though, because of the way that she
ran from
looks
Zane.
and feels about Zane.
I just don't feel like that's her fault.
It's not her fault. Maybe it's not fair.
Do you know what? And
it's not fair to dislike Tally.
The thing is I feel like the only reason I give her grace is because I do feel like she's fighting it. Like whatever is happening to her, I do feel like she's fighting it.
Yeah.
Whereas like Shay is just like I feel
fully
like
embraces
she's
it
like
and encompasses it.
This horrible thing.
Yeah.
And she's always kind of been a little horrible. And I just feel like this is the worst parts of her, like being like exploited to the extreme. And maybe she wouldn't normally be this bad.
Yeah.
But at this point, she feels irredeemable. Like there's like no redeemable qualities about Shay, in my opinion, at this point.
Okay. I like it.
And I'm struggling with her a lot.
Yeah. She's awful. She really does just like, I don't know. I feel like she wants to be where Tally is. She wants what Tally has, but Tally gets everything that she gets by accident.
Yeah, she's jealous.
Yeah, and then Shay just like looks for it.
To put it in like the secret lives of Mormon wives, I would say she's the Whitney.
Okay.
To put it in Selling Sunset terms, I'd say she's the Nicole.
Okay.
To put it in Love Island terms, I'd say that she's like a mixture of Aaron, Rob, and Andrea.
Oh, okay. Wow. Okay. That one hit. Okay. Woo. All right. Shay is not it this half. This book.
No, she's not it.
Okay. Next week we are reading Specials Part 2 already. Oh my God. We're going to be done with Specials next week.
That's crazy.
And then Haunting Adeline. I don't know in what order we're going to do it. And then Rock, Paper, Scissors.
Yes.
So look forward to that. That's going to be our October reads. After that, we don't really have a plan until like January. So we might just mix it up and who knows.
If you have some costume ideas, let us know.
Yeah. I don't know. We should try to be something from ACOTAR.
Okay. I was literally just about to freaking say that.
Yeah, we should. It'd be fun.
Crazy.
And then this one would be fun.
I don't know how we'd do it, but I would do it.
I want to be a special, but I feel like that's impossible.
Yeah, I don't know how to even dress up as any of the people.
Or just carry a hoverboard.
I could maybe dress up as the adder.
Okay.
I'm being so dead ass.
Like or the like wings.
Or like Bryaxis.
What would you wear? Just like black?
I have an idea. A full idea. That'd be.
I'm trying to think of a way
really
that
cool.
would work.
Bryaxis would be so cool, and then you could be Cassian, and you could be like scared of me the whole time.
That's hilarious. That's such a good costume idea. Couples costume.
Bryaxis and Cassian.
I love that.
That's amazing.
All right. Thank you guys so much for listening. Thanks for all the reviews you left. And if you haven't, please go and you love us, please go over, leave one. Fan art and fanfic, send it to us.
If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please email us at litlibationspodcast.
Yeah, you
email us at litlibationspodcast@gmail.com.
All right, yeah, and then we'll see you next week for Specials Part 2.
Love you guys. Bye.
Bye.
Yay, bye. Bye, guys. Bye. I said bye. 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 Bye, libations. Woo! I said bye, libations. Hey, hey, hey. I said bye, libations.